Hello, everybody. We are live. It is Thursday, April 23rd, 2026, and today is the not so long awaited David preliminary hearing. Now, we are going to talk about that hearing. It isn't scheduled to begin until about an hour from now, and it has been reported in the media that there's not going to be any cameras allowed in the courtroom. So, I doubt we're gonna get to talk about it exactly live. The reason that there's no cameras in the courtroom is apparently because this is a case that involves something to do with a child. Now, I have some more things to talk about today in the meantime while we're waiting on some news to come out of the preliminary hearing. Originally, I was gonna go live at 10:15 this morning, but I just spent I think close to 2 hours recording a video for BJ Investigates, so it pushed everything back this morning. So, can y'all hear me? Okay, wait. When people say they can't hear me, I feel like it's a troll, because that is like a way that they'll troll you. Yeah, okay, so y'all can't hear me. Okay. So, fix your own ears, maybe go to the ear doctor, girl. I don't know. Anyway, so that's another reason why I don't read the comments as I'm live a lot of times, because people will be trying to troll you. People will be trying to that I will tell y'all, and I don't want to get like too distracted because that was that person's point probably, but when people are like can't hear you, audio's off, a lot of times it's a troll to try to distract you. So I rebuke. Anyway, okay, so here is, let me pull this up. Here is the actual, criminal case access. I also did I got my hands on the full autopsy report. Okay. A lot of people are out here saying that the full autopsy report is just those 2 pages. No, ma'am. We have like a 10, 15, 12, 16, 17, I don't know, something page full autopsy report that I did get my hands on. Thankfully, one of those online publications published it. It was like deadline, dateline, something like that. Yeah, okay. TMZ just posted a family speech. That's interesting. I did have on here that the family is not going to be going today. This right here. I guess let's just jump right into it here. Okay, so this was just published this morning and it was updated at about 10 minutes ago. Actually, about 2 minutes ago, it looks like. About 2 minutes ago, it was updated. Celeste Rivas family devastated after autopsy reveal, and they will be skipping David's hearing. Okay. And I do have some things to say about the hearing as well. We'll get to that in a moment. Celeste's family says they're devastated by newly released autopsy findings, and they confirm they will not attend an upcoming hearing for David, who is charged with murder. So that hearing is happening today in about an hour. What was I gonna say? Let me see. I don't remember what I was going to say here. The Rivas Hernandez family, through their attorney, tells TMZ they're suffering profound emotional pain after reviewing the report into their daughter's killing, describing the details as horrible and gruesome. Now they are asking for privacy, understanding, and patience as they process the tragedy. And remember, y'all, if we're to believe what we were told by the media, which girl take with a grain of salt, but Celeste Rivas Hernandez's own family had not had access to the autopsy report. My necklaces are all tangled. They had not had access to that autopsy report either. Even they didn't know the cause of death, according to, public reporting. Now, the prosecutors also claim they didn't know the cause of death. It seemed like they might have. But yeah, I did have some time to check through the full autopsy report that has now been released to the public, and there are some things that have not yet been being reported in the media that I think deserve our attention. So I'm going to be going over that in today's video as well. My camera is a little askew. Should have checked that before. I actually moved the same camera back and forth to the sets, or, I do have a little bit of help, but the camera gets moved back and forth. And so sometimes it doesn't get put back in the same position. Let me just give me a second. I'm going to turn it because I hate having to sit crooked the whole stream. It makes my back and my neck hurt. Hold on one second. Okay. Yeah, that's better. Okay. So they found out with the rest of us, what was going on that autopsy result, like exactly, the cause of death and stuff, describing the details as horrible and gruesome. They're asking for privacy so they can process. And then we do get a picture here of Blair Burke and this guy who is the other lawyer, and then there's three of them on the case, and then David. The family also says Celeste's parents, Jesus and Mercedes, will not attend the hearing today. I'm sure it was just like extremely overwhelming. They're probably still processing the hearing that just happened 2-3 days ago. Los Angeles County Medical Examiner had actually determined Celeste's cause and manner of death months ago. They didn't break the story. Who broke the story? The medical examiner. Like they take credit for stuff they didn't even do. It's aggravating. Back on December 9th, they determined Celeste's cause of death, but the findings were kept under wraps due to a court-ordered security hold requested by LAPD during the investigation. Now that the info is public, the medical examiner, Dr. Ode Ukpo, is speaking out, saying it's unfathomable that the grieving family had to wait so long for answers. Ukpo emphasized transparency is critical, not just for accountability, but to help communities understand and prevent future tragedies. And there is David's very, very well moisturized mugshot. Some might say greasy. The medical examiner's report ultimately ruled Celeste's death a homicide caused by multiple penetrating injuries from unspecified objects. As we reported, authorities arrested David last week, and he has now been charged with Celeste's murder. Okay, so somebody said TMZ released an interview with the family. Were you talking about just that article? Okay. So I want to also go to SF Investigates' page because he is going to be going to the hearing today. He also is the private investigator that was hired by the landlord of the house where David was living. So he's apparently going to go to the hearing. He has tweeted. He said, I am heading to the calendared preliminary hearing for the people of the state of California versus David Anthony Burke. I expect it will be continued once appearances are made, but I'm going anyway, just in case. Okay, so that's been a big much ado, right? Like, I expected them to do continuances. I expected them to do continuances and to continue this hearing just because it's like such a huge case. There's so much stuff going on. There's so much stuff going on. Sorry, I cannot look at y'all's comments. I get so incredibly distracted. I cannot keep a train of thought going. That's how you know I'm not AI. Huh? Somebody said their sister asked if I was AI yesterday because the picture is so clear. I'm like, oh girl, please. She obviously hasn't watched long enough to know I'm not AI. But listen, let's get back on track. I expected that today's hearing would be continued. It usually is in these high profile cases that are very complicated. Like in the Nick Reiner case, the case was continued twice. Even his arraignment was continued twice. So usually it is not, going this fast. And on TMZ, you had Mark Garagos out here talking out the side of his mouth, talking about how the prosecutors really probably didn't account for David's lawyers being ready to go. Like, oh yeah, we want the preliminary hearing and we want it on April 23rd. It's like, how are you going to be ready? There's no evidence that's been turned over. They didn't even have the released autopsy results yet, and she was going to be ready for a preliminary hearing. So you had Mark Garagos being like, yeah, now the DA is on the defense because the DA is going to have to be ready. And the DA was counting on David's lawyer not being ready. Well, all that to say they might still continue the hearing here. You can't, Christian Lamar said, you cannot tell me that man isn't a paid propagandist. You can't tell me either. You can't tell me either. I feel like he is. That's my opinion. Shout out to Hiker Mom becoming a new member. Okay. They said I was AI because I'm so damn pretty. Isn't that sweet? Y'all are too kind. Y'all are too kind. Okay. So let me show y'all the Superior Court page here. So as you can see here, this is the case access page. As you can see here, this is the line where we had already seen this hearing already happened. This was the arraignment. That one happened at, it says 8:30 a.m. That's not true. It was like later in the afternoon. There was like a boom, boom threat and all of that. They held the proceedings. And then as you can see, this says today, April 23rd, 8:30 a.m. Pacific time is 11:30 a.m. Eastern. So that'll be in about 40 minutes or so, 41 minutes. It's going to be in Department 105 at the Clara Shortridge Foltz Criminal Justice Center. These are the parties. We already saw this in the previous live, but just to, show y'all, this is a public record, public access. I don't have to pay for this or anything. These are the charges. They started the criminal activity alleged starts in September 2023. And then a bunch of other things happened on the murder, and other things happened on the 23rd, according to the indictment or to the complaint. And then the offense date of the mutilation and the dismemberment is allegedly on Cinco de Mayo of 2025. So the parties include, of course, David, the district attorney. We got Beth Silverman, who is the prosecutor, David Burke, and then spelled differently, but Blair Bernholtz Burke. Proceedings today. We already looked at that. Bail, no bail. No bail. Case and events. He pled not guilty. So you see the red print here. The events tab only displays search warrants and non-guilty pleas. So we're not going to see all the events. The register of actions also is just after it's already after the fact. So I don't know if there's even an option to find the court documents online. I think you have to go up to the actual courthouse and physically get them. Did Glamour Shots at the mall take David's mugshot? Could have been, girl. It could have been. Okay, so SF investigates. Steve Fisher investigates. He did post a few other things yesterday that I want to get into. We talked about his timeline yesterday, so I'm not going to go over that. But this is one tweet. Again, the reason I think it's very important to look at SF Investigates, his tweets and stuff on this, is because he is actually hired. He's hired as a private investigator on this case. The cause and manner of death for Celeste were determined months ago, he said. As stated in the official press release, the cause and manner of death were determined December 9th, 2025. The repeated claims by TMZ that the medical examiner was unable to determine a cause and manner of death due to the condition of her remains were never accurate. Okay, so this is really good. I think interesting that Steve Fisher is saying, look at how TMZ just says stuff that's not true. Just look at it. Her remains were found in September and they had a cause of death 2 months later. So yeah, I mean, it did take 2 months, but that was that's how long toxicology reports take, about a month and a half, 2 months. So he says, look, TMZ lies, or they just have inaccurate information. The repeated claims that the medical examiner couldn't determine a cause and manner of death were false. They were waiting on toxicology, which they were then able to get even in her state. of decomposition. He says, I have not been perfect in this case, but I have acknowledged when I was wrong. TMZ, on the other hand, reported that Celeste's remains were still partially frozen when they arrived at the medical examiner's office and suggested that David was only recently arrested because a cause and manner of death had just been determined. Steve Fisher said that information is incorrect. So don't believe everything you read on TMZ, which definitely we already knew over here on this channel. He said, at this point, nearly all of the information that they have put out on this case has been false or misleading. I'm glad that the facts are finally driving the narrative in this case. Celeste died by being stabbed by an object or objects that caused 2 penetrating wounds to her torso and caused a liver injury. Toxicology found she was presumptive positive for benzodiazepines and methamphetamine/MDMA. He said, I have personally spoken to witnesses. Steve Fisher has personally spoken to witnesses who told him David used hard drugs with them. So I don't know if he's trying to hint something or what. TMZ needs some fact checkers, but that would get in the way of the propaganda that they try to push. Okay. So then he tweets something else yesterday. He said on April 24th, 2025, just hours after the prosecutors alleged that David killed Celeste, David's management held a Withered album release party in LA. Wow. It began at 8 p.m. David then likely took a red-eye flight to New York afterward. All of his managers were likely in Los Angeles for that party. The house that Celeste was lured to was leased not by David, but by his management company. So the question becomes, who knew what and when did they know it? Remember Robert Morgan Roth, who was subpoenaed, according to reports, by the prosecutors to appear before the grand jury, and he was the manager, and he said, I didn't know. He was out in the hall, and the TMZ reporters heard him talking, and he said, I didn't know. I didn't feel like that was my responsibility to report it. The prosecutor kept asking me, why didn't I report it? Why didn't I report it? I didn't know that that was my responsibility to report it. Remember, I just wanted to get on with the tour. So that was one of the managers, I think. I mean, Robert Morgan Roth, I guess his name is. Steve Fisher said, okay, well, what about those managers that held that party? They had a party one day after Celeste died. The house that Celeste was lured to, according to prosecutors, was leased by the management company. So the question is, who knew what and when did they know it? April 23rd and 24th were not quiet. They were not uneventful days or nights. David had just performed at Coachella. His album was being released and promoted and launched that same exact week, and a party was being held in his honor. Then he had to go over to the New York Band Lab launch, the pop-up. There were people around him, and he was the center of attention. It's difficult to believe he had much time to be completely alone. Who knew what and when? If you attended the party, and this brings back any memory of David or others in his immediate circle acting unusually, if you were at the rental house, if you saw Celeste around April 23rd or 24th, please contact the LAPD Robbery Homicide Division. If you're willing to speak with me, I will keep your information confidential except as required for law enforcement. This is about justice for a 14-year-old. Attached is a message referencing the party held just hours after Celeste was killed. Thank you to those who are coming forward now that David is in custody. That's a hint. See, I missed that. I missed that when I read the tweet last night. He said, thank you to those who are coming forward now that David is in custody. Who are they coming forward to? And here's the screenshot. The host of Withered album release party sent a text blast. David's Withered album release party kicks off in 90 minutes. This was 6:33 p.m. They sent it at 6:33. Good. Or at least this is I guess this is the timestamp for it. When you arrived at the 100 Thieves compound, please enter through the parking lot to the left of the building and head to the back. Thanks and see you there. So this was the album launch party. If anybody was there at it, hit up the robbery homicide or Steve Fisher. He said, I'm heading to the, okay, so this he tweeted about an hour ago. Let me run through, told you, wait, hold on. Late, starting from the beginning. I told YouTube not to show any videos from TMZ. They're on my ish list. Okay, let me look for any breaking news. There's probably going to be some breaking news. I also have the full autopsy report that we will go through over the course of today's video as well. Okay, we have a local news article from KSAT.com about David's lawyers. This might not be new information. Let's just see. Singer David's lawyers look to make evidence against him public in killing of 14-year-old girl. Lawyers for David are pushing to have prosecutors quickly and publicly present the evidence they have against him in the killing of Celeste Rivas Hernandez. The 21-year-old, whose legal name is David Burke, returns to Los Angeles court today for a hearing just 3 days after he was charged and pleaded not guilty to first-degree murder, and 7 months after the girl's dismembered body was found in his Tesla in the Hollywood Hills. In a rare move, he's exercising his right in California to have a judge decide within 10 court days of his arraignment whether there's actually even enough evidence to proceed to trial. Nearly all defendants waive this right because they want to slow pedal this part of the process and they want to wait months to reach this stage. But Blair Burke, David's lawyer, said, quote, "We believe the actual evidence will show David did not murder Celeste Rivas Hernandez." Deputy District Attorney Beth Silverman said in court, so this is the district attorney, the prosecutor said, we're going to be very happy. Remember the hair flip? We'll be very happy to present the evidence that we've compiled over the last several months. She said there's 40 terabytes of data and it's been collected and it can be shared. One key set of evidence became public on Wednesday. That was yesterday, with the release of the months-old autopsy report from the LA County Medical Examiner's Office. It said that Celeste's death was caused by 2 penetrating wounds to the upper body. David Burke, who's being held without bail, pleaded not guilty to other crimes, including lewd and lascivious acts and mutilating a dead body. Prosecutors alleged he had been sexually abusing Celeste for at least a year, starting on her 13th birthday. They allege he killed her because she threatened to report the relationship, and then he dismembered her body about 2 weeks later. Thursday's hearing comes exactly a year after the day authorities say that she was last known to be alive. Right. Today is the 1-year anniversary of when prosecutors say was the last time anyone ever saw or heard from Celeste Rivas Hernandez alive. Now, a secret grand jury heard months of testimony in this case, but it had not issued an indictment when David was arrested last week. Its existence became public in February in court filings in Texas, where Burke's relatives sought to reject subpoenas that they testified. That's not actually true. The grand jury became public like last year. But it was just in rumors and tabloids, but the actual official confirmation from court records did come in February. It's not clear whether the presentation of evidence would begin at Thursday's hearing today, or whether these proceedings are just going to be used to schedule witnesses for the coming days. So again, here we're being kind of told, look, don't expect too much from today's hearing. Don't expect too much to actually happen today. Again, y'all, there's not going to be cameras in the courtroom today. From what's being reported publicly. Shout out to Create and Evolve for gifting 1 membership If you are the one that got the membership, make sure you say thank you. Please, not the hiccups. Okay. The girl's parents. So, yeah, okay. So, again, here, it's not clear whether the presentation of evidence is going to begin today or whether the proceedings are going to be used to schedule witnesses for the coming days. Oh my God, I wish I could be in there. The girl's parents, Jesus Rivas and Mercedes Martinez, made their first public statement on the case day before yesterday, calling their daughter beautiful, a strong girl who loved to sing and dance. We love her very much, and she always told us that she loved us. We miss her deeply, and all we want is justice for Celeste. David gained popularity among young fans for his blend of indie rock, R&B, and lo-fi pop. He went viral on TikTok in 2022 with the hit song Romantic Homicide, which peaked at number 4, Petals to Thorns, Lost Petals. His debut full-length album was released exactly a year ago. 2 days after the date, prosecutors claim Rivas Hernandez was killed. So today is the 1-year anniversary of when prosecutors allege Celeste Rivas Hernandez lost her life. I want to do David live updates and see if anyone's got a live update thing going. NBC Los Angeles put out an article 2 hours ago. Singer David charged in Celeste murder expected in court. David arrested. Police said the death likely occurred in the spring of last year. The medical examiner's office said the cause of death was multiple penetrating injuries. David was charged Monday with first-degree murder and special circumstances. We already know that. He pleaded not guilty. A judge today will likely just simply set a date for a preliminary hearing when it would be determined whether there is sufficient evidence for the case to go to trial. So I keep hearing this. I keep seeing and I keep hearing that nothing's really going to happen today, but, SF Investigate said he's going to go over there just in case. The hearing is set to start in about 25 minutes. Let me see if any news cameras are set up outside the courthouse, as they usually are. Doesn't even look like anybody's standing up, posted up out there. Nope. Nothing. Maybe it's because they knew the cameras weren't going to be allowed inside. Okay, let me see. All right, let me pull up the actual autopsy report. And let's start taking a look at that. I got the full thing. And this includes like investigators talking about it, their notes, what they saw. So I'm going to pull it up here. This is the autopsy report right here. Okay. So as you can see, it is 26 pages long. So people have been out here like, oh, there's, a 2-page autopsy report, full autopsy report. Girl, that was not the full autopsy report. This one right here is 26 pages long. I'm going to be kind of flipping back and forth, going through this, and then also checking on any breaking news that may be developing. But here's the first page: death investigation summary, medical examiner case number 2025-14252, Celeste Abigail Rivas Hernandez. She was pronounced dead on September 8th, but the body wasn't examined until 2 days later by a Karen Tapia and Dr. Ansel Nam and Dr. Grant Ho and Daniel Garcia. Cause of death. They say it right here in this box. Cause of death: multiple penetrating injuries. Manner of death: homicide. How did the injury occur? With objects. Now, they don't say knife, they don't say blade, they don't say sharp. They just say with objects. It does say families of the decedent, please call this number should you have any questions. So here is the first, substantive page, medical report summary. Severe post-mortem changes, 2 penetrating wounds of the torso, right abdomen with injury to the liver, left chest with penetration of underlying intercostal space, that's like the space between ribs, and cortical disruption of adjacent ribs. Other findings: bilateral dismemberment of upper and lower extremities. That means arms, legs cut off. Multiple additional skin defects, which I don't know exactly what that is. Like, what is a defect in a toxicology report? Should I look it up? Okay. Before this live stream, my mom was like, make sure you check your messages because sometimes news breaks and you need to know. So I'm like, oh, good point. I go to check my messages. Tell me why she has sent me, I'm not exaggerating, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 separate paragraphs of texts since the last time. Like, that's why I don't check. Because you send me 14 things, I don't have time to stop what I'm doing and read 14 paragraphs. So let the record reflect. Okay. Let me go to, what is a defect in an autopsy report? Generally refers to a specific physical injury or abnormality found on a body, like a gunshot wound or sharp force injury. It's just called a defect. Okay, so it could be a stab wound even, girl. Okay. Okay. Summary and opinion narrative. Okay, so this is the summary and opinion narrative of the actual coroner, autopsy, whatever. Per medical examiner investigator's report, this 15, was she 14? But, when they found her body, she would have been 15 at that time if she had lived that long. Celeste Abigail Rivas Hernandez was found dismembered in a state of decomposition inside a car trunk on September 8, 2025. Death was pronounced at the scene. Autopsy examination was limited. Okay, so that is true. That, TMZ was reporting autopsy examination was limited. Yes, by extensive post-mortem changes. There are 2 penetrating wounds of the torso with smooth edges that may represent sharp force injuries. And TMZ and Garagos, who seem to like defending child bleepists and murderers, innocent until proven guilty, but they're like, oh, the defense attorney is going to jump on that word may. And it's like, yeah, because if the coroner didn't say may and just said was, then they would jump on that too. How could you be so sure? You weren't there. The wound on the upper abdomen penetrates the liver, and the wound on the left chest penetrates one of the left intercostal spaces with disruption of the adjacent ribs, cortical surfaces. The left lung appears intact. The bilateral upper and lower, so on both sides, all arm, all legs got chopped off, show full thickness dismemberment. So I don't know what that means. Let me see what that means. Does that mean that she was cut up while she was still full thick or what? What is full thickness dismemberment? It refers to a forensic or medical description of a severe intentional injury where the limbs have been entirely severed through both soft tissue and underlying bone. It indicates that the cut passed through all layers, separating the part from the body, typically in a methodical manner rather than superficial or a partial cut. How deranged, somebody said. Somebody said an anime samurai sword. Girl, I don't know. Multiple other skin and soft tissue defects are present without apparent associated internal injuries. The etiology of these defects is not clearly apparent because of the severe post-mortem changes, but somebody chopped them limbs. Post-mortem toxicology performed on liver tissue shows the presence of a low level of ethanol, which may be due to post-mortem changes or could be due to ingestion, but it does not appear to be contributory to the cause of death. So she didn't drink to death. Given the history and the circumstances as currently known by me in the setting of the findings and the examination and all the studies and the absence of other definitive causes of death, the cause of death is multiple penetrating injuries. The manner of death is homicide. So this right here is why it took 2 months for them to have a cause of death. It only took them 2 months. Now it took them, 5 months after that for them to tell us. And it took 7 or close to 8 months for us to find out what the cause of death was from the time the body was discovered. However, they were waiting to see if there were other possible causes of death, meaning they were waiting for the toxicology report. The coroner got the toxicology report back and said, there's nothing else that could possibly explain this death. Yeah, maybe there was a little bit of alcohol in her liver. Maybe she drank something. That didn't cause her death. There was this presumptive positive for methamphetamine and MDMA. We sent it off to the lab to see if for sure, that was in her system or not. But when we got the test back, it was either inconclusive or just not. Like there wasn't enough drugs or anything in her system, if any at all, to cause her death. So the only thing we have left, the coroner's saying, or the medical examiner, the cause of death has to be multiple penetrating injuries, and the manner of death is homicide. Now, there were 2 unique patient identifiers. Her name is Celeste Rivas Rivas Hernandez, female, and they did a full examination. And this is all the bullet points of the things that they did in the examination. Prior surgeries, external examination. Y'all can pause and read that. Okay. They also did a CT scan. CT scan is reviewed and is consistent with the autopsy examination. Obviously, they didn't donate her organs or prepare her for the morgue. They probably, she probably got cremated. If I had to guess, she got cremated. I don't know why they would put that into the casket. External examination, appropriately developed, Hispanic female, 71 pounds. That's pretty crazy. BMI is 12. I think she probably, it's from deteriorating and dehydration. Other extremities, see evidence. Okay, so hair long, no facial hair. Her hair color was black. They couldn't figure out what color her eyes were because of the post-mortem changes. She was missing one eye, by the way, her left eye. She did have orthodontic hardware, which means either braces or some type of permanent retainer on both her upper teeth and her lower teeth. Female. The head, okay, yeah, they said foul odor. Multiple insect larvae present. The skin color was dark brown because it had been drying out. There was insect activity. Lots of larvae, foul odor. The head was partially skeletonized with a missing left eye. There is liquefaction of the soft tissues, internal organs, postmortem softening, crepitation, discoloration have been marked. The order in which the injuries are described is for description purposes and is not intended to imply the sequence of injuries. Okay, so they go in the same order. They describe the same stuff in the same order on all these things. It's not like, oh, this happened first, this happened first. They're just being very clear. All medical examiner diagrams are intended to be facsimile, are not intended to be exact replicas. They're not drawn to scale. It's just kind of like, okay, here, somewhere around here, somewhere around here. So then they talk about the skin defect. Remember, they were calling those like kind of like what appeared to be maybe stab wounds. They were calling them skin defects. Okay, so starting with the right abdomen, 21 inches below the top of the head and 1 inch right of the midline is a 3/4 inch penetrating wound with smooth edges. The wound is oriented in the 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock directions. So like this way. So like if there was a blade, like here's the blade, right? Here's the blade. And so the blade would be like pointing to 3 and 9, like a parallel to the ground. If you were standing, if she were standing, it was like this way. Like I'm trying to figure out. I need to get a little butter knife in my. Okay, so like let's imagine and pretend. Oh, I have this thing. My New York. What were these? This was Giants, right? Okay, so we have this, and let's say you're holding the knife like this. If you're gonna stab, I'm just trying to see which way a knife. Let's just, for example, a knife would need to be held to go sideways. So if you were going to stab up, the knife would be at the 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock direction, right? Like this. But if you were going to stab this way, it would be in the 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock, you know, like a clock. So surely it wouldn't be like this. So I'm assuming like that. Or if you're in front, you could do it like that. Maybe it was that over the. Now, David had what appeared to be possibly wound on his hand, some abrasions. Maybe that was related to this. Maybe it wasn't. Flojo TV said, I think he was standing behind her and caught her off guard. Is David right or left-handed? It did appear like David had that injury on his right hand. I mean, on his left hand. That's why I was like, is he a lefty? But also it could have been a reverse, it could have been a flipped image. Thank you so much to Justice Gypsy for the $2 super chat. Wow, that is a pretty long autopsy. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Flo Joe TV for the $19.99. Thank you for all your hard work you've been doing. Always great work. Congrats on the success on the new channel. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Trying to get to 7,000. Trying to get to 10,000. The channel, I think, was started on March 31st. So let's see what we can get to by April 31st. Thank you for that $19.99. I really appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Venus Envy, for the $4.99. We should start a drinking game. Take a drink every time the brush comes out. Y'all better not. You're going to be drunk in just a few minutes. Thanks so much for the $4.99. Let me see. Let me just check the news real quick and see if anything's breaking. Doesn't look like it yet. Okay, let's get back to this autopsy report then. The hearing, the actual preliminary hearing, isn't scheduled to begin until about 10 minutes from now. I looked up to see if there was any live coverage of it, like outside the courtroom or like, people on camera or whatever, and I didn't see any. Yeah, wow, that's crazy. Okay. So smooth edges, the wound is oriented in the sideways. So like if this is a knife, which it is not, this is a bottle opener. So like pretend, this is the blade, right? And then this is the handle, right? So the 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock would be like, like that type of angle. The wound track. Now this is just for that one. Now we might get different. We might get different on the next wound. We're only talking about the 3/4 inch skin defect. The wound track sequentially perforates the skin and soft tissue of the right abdomen and the liver. The wound track is about 1.5 inches. So that's not very deep. Where's my ruler? 1.5 inches. I don't know what sharp thing he had or whoever had it had. The wound track has an approximate depth of 1.5 inches. Front to direction goes from front to back. So it was a stab through the front in the direction of the back. So he could have been behind her and did like that. But like they're saying that particular wound, it was made by going through the front. Okay. Now there's another skin defect. This one is 9/16 of an inch, which is like close to, I guess, like almost like a little more than a half inch. Entrance involving the lateral left lower chest. This is the one that's more in the middle by like her diaphragm, 15 inches below the top of the head, and 6 inches left of midline is a 9/16 of an inch penetrating wound with smooth edges. The wound track sequentially perforates the skin and soft tissue of the lateral left lower chest, left intercostal. This is one that went through the ribs. The wound track has a depth of at least 2 inches. So this one's deeper. And the direction is also left to right. So a slashing. This was more of a slashing, left to right. The adjacent ribs show disruption of the cortical bone. What's the cortical bone? Is that this thing? No, that's the cricoid. Hold on. Let me look up what's the cortical bone. The dense, hard outer layer of bones, accounting for 80% of skeletal mass and providing structural strength, protection, and support. It's organized into microscopic. Okay, so all your bones have a cortical part of them. Okay, good. Okay, now it says other findings. Multiple skin defects are also present over the torso, with many perforating the skin and soft tissue without identifiable soft tissue hemorrhage or associated internal organ injuries. Did they stab her after she died? They range from 5/16 of an inch to 1 3/4 inches in the greatest dimension. Multiple superficial linear abrasions are also on her right dorsal hand right here. So she had scratches or like kind of like cuts, but not deep punctures right there. The upper and lower arms and legs show that they were dismembered with relatively flat cut surfaces through the soft tissue and bone. So they had something real sharp. No discernible hemorrhage is identified at these sites. I think that means that she was dead when they started cutting. This part right here, I haven't heard nobody talking about. Okay, put a 1 in the chat. You ain't heard this nowhere else. Multiple fragments of blue plastic material are found embedded in the cut surfaces. Multiple fragments of blue plastic material were in the cuts. Representative fragments were collected by the medical examiner, criminalists, and submitted to the evidence department on September 8th. The right upper extremity, so the right arm, is dismembered 9 inches from the top of the shoulder. The left arm is dismembered 6 inches from the top of the shoulder. The left fourth and fifth fingers, the pinky and the ring finger, are dismembered. This is sick. They took the fingers off, amputated. The right leg dismembered in 2 places. One site was 12 inches from the top of the leg and the other was 10 inches from the top of the heel. The left lower extremity, the left leg, is also cut up into 2 pieces. So they didn't just cut one piece, then cut the leg off. They cut the leg in half and then cut the leg off, then cut it in half. This is sick. One side is 9 inches from the top of the leg and the other is 15 from the bottom of the heel. The organs were in position. Okay, so that was good to know. Smooth, no pleural fluid, lung fluid. Okay, then her heart system. No adhesions, normal positioned heart, nothing unusual. Heart valves, thin, delicate. Let's see. Pulmonary artery, major artery, thoracic aorta. Respiratory system, absent of lesions, unobstructed, so she didn't suffocate or smother. Severe post-mortem changes to the lungs, though. Then they went into the Digestive system, that looked like there, her tongue, no trauma, no lesions. Her esophagus was intact. No pill fragments in the stomach. Very important. Because if she took a pill that OD'd her and she died, I would expect there to be some remnants of pill in the stomach. There were none. Appendix was there. She hadn't had it removed. Liver, 225 grams. There was evidence of traumatic injury to the liver, but they said see evidence of traumatic injury section. So we'll get to that. She had the gallbladder. She had the pancreas. The kidneys were fine. There didn't seem to be any kidney stones. So perfectly healthy. She had her no kidney stones. She didn't have any gallbladder was fine. The pancreas was fine. All of this was fine. And as you go down the list, you start to realize like there's all of this stuff it rules out that she died from that. Uterus present, not enlarged, no endometrial lesions. Everything else in that area was intact. In the reproductive system, a thyroid, pituitary, and adrenal seemed fine. Lymph system, no thymus was not identified. It was not identified because of the postmortem changes. That's interesting. Scalp is predominantly skeletonized. Brain weighed 600 grams. Dura mater was normal. Severe postmortem changes to everything else. The cerebellum, the brainstem, the circle of Willis, the base of the brain, and all that was messed up because of postmortem changes, but they did not examine the spinal cord. They didn't dissect the eyes or the middle ears. They took photos taken prior to and during the examination. I'd never want to see that. Special dissection, layer-wise anterior neck dissection, no trauma, no hemorrhage, no cartilage injuries. So they look to see if this hyoid bone right here is broken, or if you're, strangled to death, like choked to death, like a lot of times that bone will be broken. So if it's intact, you probably didn't get choked. Hyoid bone fracture, no. Clothing reviewed by the DME, no. Tissue retention, they put it in jars. Histology, microscopic diagnosis. Liver had severe postmortem changes. Microscopic description, representative section of liver shows extensive autolysis that precludes further evaluation. What is autolysis? Extensive autolysis. Self-digestion of cells and tissues caused by internal enzymes following death when the oxygen supply stops. Okay. Additional samples taken were from the finger typing, fingernails, liver, jawbone typing, and bone. Radiology was done. Toxicology was done. Histology was done. Okay. This is the lab analysis summary report. There was alcohol or ethanol present, but that doesn't necessarily mean that Celeste was drinking, although she could have been. It could have also just been a compound that is made and produced by the human body in the process of decomposition. It's like alcohol that is exogenous sometimes. So that even the medical examiner said that on early pages of his report. It does appear that she does have some type of ethanol in the liver, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it came from drinking. But even if she was drinking, it wasn't drinking to the extent that it contributed to her death. Now, what did they find in the drug screen in the liver? So on the ones that it says PP, that means presumed positive. If it just said P, it would mean, yeah, positive. ND means none detected. Okay, so let's start there. Cocaine and the cocaine metabolites, none detected. The one that starts with the F, none detected. Opiates, none detected. That includes codeine and morphine. Opiates, including hydrocodone and hydromorphone, none. and phenylcyclidine. I don't even know, girl, what that even is. None. So the ones where they have a presumed positive are benzodiazepines. This would be your Xanax, your alprazolam, etc. Klonopin, I think, is a benzo. And then the presumed positive is also on methamphetamine and MDMA. Now, the medical examiner said when they returned the real full toxicology report, the presumed positive went away on this one, and there was none. There was no actual, Xanax, Klonopin, whatever. The meth and MDMA, hard to tell, but it seems like the medical examiner is saying there was definitely not enough to kill her, if there was any in there, but it's inconclusive. They didn't actually for sure rule, and they weren't able to confirm she did have any drugs in her system. None. They were not able to confirm a single drug in her system. And it kind of feels like this is what TMZ and Mark Garagos have been prepping, priming, and grooming us, the public, to jump to a conclusion. She must have O to the D. But the medical examiner said, no, there wasn't for sure anything in her system. Now, he wasn't able to say for sure there was nothing in her system, but he wasn't able to say for sure there was something in her system. They did more tests here from the liver. This is the confirmation. No basic drugs detected. No benzos. I don't know what designer opioids is. Amphetamine, none detected. None detected. Okay. Amphetamine, none. So no Adderall, no, Vyvanse, Ritalin. Ephedrine, none. Methamphetamine, inconclusive. Designer opioids, inconclusive. That's like LCMS. Girl, there's probably stuff they don't even have tests for, by the way, also. Everything else is none. MDA, none detected. MDMA, no, none detected. The only one they were inconclusive on is methamphetamine. Not amphetamine, methamphetamine. Methamphetamine, inconclusive. And designer opioids, like, I don't know, like maybe the types that like Hollywood stars might have access to, who are maybe about to have an album launch party. Designer opioids. Shake said the meth is likely from the ecstasy. Most all X is cut with it. Okay, good to know. But MDMA was not in her system. They said no, not detected. Look, none. MDA, none. MDMA, none. The designer, I think it's the 7 O's. Okay, so it is 11:35 a.m. right now. Let me just, it's called Molly. Let me just check in and see if we have any news. The preliminary hearing supposedly started about 5 minutes ago. We're not going to be able to see inside there today. There's going to be no cameras. It does seem like this is going to be more of a, let's just reschedule this. Let's push it off. But I am trying to stay on top of this breaking story. Okay. Nothing yet. Okay, what is this? Specimen may not be Title 17 complaint. Inconclusive due to interfering substances. Sarah Buxton. Okay. So this we did see yesterday. This is the two front wounds. Here's the one that's almost really to the side. And then there's the one that's kind of on the diaphragm. This one right here, right on the chest, on the left chest, is about 9/16 of an inch. Remember, these things were full of blue plastic. That's interesting how I just had this like on my desk and like blue plastic. Was it a box cutter? Like, is that why it couldn't go that deep? Like, what was this blue plastic? There's a 3/4 inch defect also. So this one's about a 1/2 inch. This one's a little deeper. 3 to 9 o'clock. This one's about 2 inches deep. And this one's about 1.5 inches deep. I think maybe box cutter. Blue plastic. And a little, like just a little Depth, like not a like a long blade. So this is the diagram that they drew here. She don't have a left eye. Hello. She has braces or maybe a metal retainer in there, permanent retainer. Now this eye was messed up. Okay, the arm was cut off here. Arm was cut off here, and then there were these defects in the back. 1 to 1 3/4 inches. So all of them were less than 2 inches. I'm starting to get box cutter. I think box cutter. You can see where the legs were cut. Okay. The liver weight, the fibros, the heart weight, tubes, brain. All right. This is the investigative summary report. 62 inches tall, 71 pounds. Couldn't even figure out what color her eyes were. Her hair was black. Teeth were natural. She didn't have veneers, no facial hair, decomposed. She had a tattoo on her right index finger. Okay. This is ominous. Quote, shh, ... They concealed the identity of her mother and her father. They took dental x-rays. They said where she was found, LAPD Robbery Homicide Division. They did take her fingerprints. It was reported they were not able to get fingerprints. They were able to get fingerprints. Okay, so here is a little synopsis. It took 2 hours. 2-hour autopsy notification request by LAPD Robbery Homicide Detective Byers. Information is preliminary and subject to change due to the ongoing investigation. So this was like the preliminary autopsy report. According to the reported information, on September 26, 2025, passersby, or I think it was 6, not 26, September 6th, passersby, okay. On August 26th, 2025, passersby reported an abandoned black Tesla. They didn't smell that. 5 months. Oh, we finally hit 1,000. First 1,000 ever. They didn't smell that rotting, decomposing body in that trunk. They reported an abandoned black Tesla that was parked on the street. They to the Department of Transportation. The employees cited the vehicle on September 3rd and then impounded it on the 5th and then towed it. Redacted. On September 8th, a manager noticed a foul smell emanating from the vehicle and reported it to Auto Detective Clore. Detective Clore inspected the vehicle's front trunk, found a large black zippered body bag with handles. He partially unzipped the bag, revealing a human torso in the back of the head. He pronounced death at the scene at 1100 hours without medical intervention. It's like pretty obvious this person's dead. There's no person of interest in custody at that time, and charges are pending. No weapon was recovered. Okay, so here's the investigation. Wow, I haven't read this. This is the investigator's narrative. On September 8th, the day after Celeste's birthday, 2025, 13:47 hours, Detective Lamberti reported a homicide death to the medical examiner, clerk Celine Guzman. Guzman? Acting Watch Commander E. Burns assigned me this field death investigation at 14:04 hours. I confirmed the criminalist response with criminalist Anthony Martinez at approximately 14:30 hours. I arrived on the scene at 15:19 hours and cleared the scene at 18:28. So he was there for about 3 hours. Senior forensic attendant M. Aparicio transported the body to the medical examiner's department. I spoke, informant witness statements. I spoke with LAPD West Bureau Homicide Detective Lamberti on scene. He preferenced his statement by informing me that this case was being actively transferred to LAPD Robbery Homicide Division Detective Byers. Information is preliminary and subject to change due to the ongoing investigation. He told me that on August 26, 2025, somebody called the LA Department of Transportation to report an abandoned black Tesla parked on the street. The employees cited the vehicle, then impounded it and towed it. September 8th, a manager noticed a foul odor emanating from the vehicle and reported it. Detective the car front trunk discovered a large black zippered body bag. No weapon. Decedent's identity at the time was unknown. Scene description. The location was on the second story of a police garage impound lot situated on the northwest corner of North Mansfield Avenue. There are multiple miscellaneous vehicles parked throughout the lot. The decedent was lying inside the trunk of a Tesla. Again, this probably says registered to David, but like, what's redacted here? The Tesla was parked on the southeast quadrant of the lot, facing east. The front trunk was open, and yellow police tape surrounded the nearest vehicles, including the Tesla. From a distance, a black body bag was visible and exposed inside the front trunk of the car. I did not observe any drugs, illicit, any drug paraphernalia, any alcohol on the scene, and there were no weapons located during the examination. He said, I observed the decedent's posterior, the back of her head and torso, lying in a body bag in the front trunk of a Tesla. Her head was oriented towards the north. She appeared of indeterminate age and indeterminate ethnicity. She did have dark hair and natural teeth. She was wearing a tube top, underwear, leggings, and socks. I observed multiple holes in the front and the back of the tube top. Good to know. She was wearing clothes when those wounds were sustained. She was missing both arms above the elbows and both legs above the knees. Underneath the body bag was a black trash bag. The trash bag contained her apparent compiled bilateral arms and legs. They appear to have been dismembered into several fragments. That is disgusting. Just the thought of it. The decedent was in an advanced state of decomposition, demonstrated by a foul odor, discoloration, liquefaction, insect maggots all over the place, partial skeletonization, and skin slippage. I noticed approximately a 1-inch linear defect on her abdomen and a circular defect on her left flank. What is left flank? What is left flank? Here, between the lower ribs and the hips, circular. So it had torn open. It wasn't like a slit mark. It was like a round. It was round. I noted an approximate 1-inch linear defect on her abdomen, 1 inch, like a stab wound, and a circular defect on her, like between the stomach and the hip, like down here. The left ring finger and the pinky finger were mutilated. I did not locate them. Where is the finger? And we're going to talk a little bit later in today's video about what could have possibly happened to that finger and where it might be and why it might have got cut off. She has a tattoo that reads "shh" on the inside of her right index finger. I did not observe any other discernible scars or tattoos. She was not identified or ID viewable due to decomposition of the face. She was not live scanned due to waterlogged fingers. Okay, we did see that before. But they originally were able to get a fingerprint from her. According to investigator Magdaleno, on September 16th, 2025 at 8:15 hours, Dr. Law positively identified the decedent as Celeste Abigail Rivas Hernandez, redacted, via dental radiograph comparison. Detective Joshua Byers notified the decedent's parents of the death on the telephone, via telephone on September 16th. So about 10 days after the car is towed, Celeste's parents get a call. Detective Byers requests a 2-hour autopsy notification. Leggings collected, underwear collected, socks, 2 socks. She was wearing the tube top shirt, body bag handles. They need to swab that for DNA. What I need to see the DNA on the body bag handles. Body bag side handles collected on September 8th that day. What else? Hair kit, They collected the maggots because they can actually tell stuff from like what life cycle the maggots are in. Are there husks? Are they holes? They can look how many generations of maggots have been on this site. They can look at all of that. Swab of handle on the top. They swabbed. They took DNA off the zipper. They took DNA. Oh, they have a toenail for a DNA reference. Trace number 1, blue plastic pieces on her right leg. Remember those blue plastic pieces? I haven't heard anybody talking about the blue plastic pieces. Blue plastic pieces on her right leg were collected for examination. There were also blue plastic pieces on her legs and arms, on the dismembered body parts, collected on the very day that she was discovered, approximately 1752 hours. Trash bag was collected, zipper from the bottom, like they took swabs from the zipper and from the top. Okay, what is this? Forensic Science Laboratory. This is the Criminalist. This is the report from the Criminalist. They did the timeline. They say September 8th, 2025, about 13:52 hours, I received a request from the medical examiner, senior criminalist A. Martinez, for evidence collection at a scene. 14:58 hours, I departed the scene with senior criminalist Martinez. 15:27 hours, we arrived. 16:04, I began processing evidence. 18:40, we departed. 19:16, we arrived back at the FSC. And 19:43, I completed evidence collection. Medical examiner personnel K. Tapia collected personal property, examined the body, and photographed the clothing. Criminalist A. Martinez took most of the notes. And then there was a forensic attendant, M. Aparicio, transported the body to the FSC. LAPD was there, buyers, and then there was also a photographer, MC Salaberry. Scene description. This is from the criminalist's point of view. The scene occurred in a parking lot structure, 1015 North Mansfield Avenue. On the second floor of the parking structure was a black Tesla Model X with a Texas license plate. Redacted. Oh, maybe that's the license plate number. That would make sense. The Tesla was parked facing east with multiple cars nearby. The decedent was in an enclosed storage compartment located under the hood of the front of the Tesla, known as the frunk. Prior to my arrival, says the criminalist, the frunk was already open. The body bag was unwrapped and open to view the decedent. The decedent was dismembered and was inside a black body bag and a black trash bag. The decedent was severely decomposed. There was decomposition fluid on the outside and inside of the bags. So there was this fluid leaking out everywhere. She was female, had dark hair, decomposition fluid, and maggots and insects all over. It was observed that those maggots were on the body and the body bag. So they were just eating her up. The body bag had a double zipper, 3 handles on each length side, and a handle on the top and bottom width end. The body bag took up most of the frunk space. Inside the frunk, the body bag contained the head and the torso in a prone, it was laying down position. The decedent's head pointed north, the thighs pointed south, not the feet because they were cut off. The trash bag was at the south end of the frunk beneath the body bag. The trash bag was tied and contained the legs that were dismembered, the dismembered limbs, arms with hands and legs with feet. Ugh. The decedent's arms were cut and removed at the bicep, and the legs were cut and removed above and below the knee. Before moving the body bag, the handles and zippers were swabbed. The body bag and trash bag were moved out of the frunk and placed onto a plastic sheet. The decedent was then removed from the bags and put on another plastic sheet. Her left hand was missing the ring and pinky fingers. So they never found the ring finger and the pinky finger. Decedent was wearing a discolored tube top shirt, discolored underwear, black leggings, and black socks. The shirt appeared to have 3 cut artifacts. 3 cut artifacts. 3, not 2. The leggings were cut around the knees. So the leggings were cut too? with the upper and lower portions rolled down to both ankles and the feet. At the cut site of the right leg, attached to the torso, there were small blue plastic pieces. The legs and arms from the trash bag had small blue plastic pieces too. And then there's like a whole sentence that's redacted. The leggings were cut, y'all. The shirt had 3 cut marks, and the leggings were cut around the knees, and the upper portion on the torso had been rolled down. Why did they roll down this little girl's leggings to her feet? Current sleuths are saying he made a hacksaw on a 3D printer, and maybe the blade is blue. Could be. Venus Envy, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. April 23rd today, so this would mark Celeste's date of death anniversary. Yes. Thank you, Nixie, for the 50 knock. Burning a candle for Celeste. BJ, he is thought to have used a 3D printed saw. Well, that would be very interesting. It gives a whole new meaning to saw, huh? Thank you for the $4.99 super chat. The leggings were rolled down. I find that to be sick and disgusting considering what he was obsessed with. The leggings were cut around the knees with the upper portion on the torso, and the lower portions were rolled down to both ankles and feet. The cut side of the right leg is attached to the torso, and there were small blue plastic pieces. Also, the legs and the arms from the trash bag had small blue plastic pieces at the cut sites, and then there was a sentence redacted. Okay, evidence collected. I collected the following items of evidence on September 8th, 2025, and they were released to the medical examiner evidence custodian A. Gonzalez on September 11th, 2025 at 9:33 hours. September 11th at 9:33, you don't say. Got it. They didn't hand over the insects, the maggots, the body bag, or the trash bag. The insects were released to the medical examiner evidence custodian A. Gonzalez September 11th at 9:50 hours. So they kept the insects and the body bag and the trash bag a little longer. There was a hair kit collected in a head hair kit, packaged and sealed into a black biohazard bag. There were the maggots they collected and put into a plastic container with 70% alcohol and packaged into sealed brown paper bag, BPB. The following items were also collected, packaged into individual swab box and sealed in the same physical evidence envelope. Swabs of the sides of the handles of the body bag, the top handle of the body bag, the top zipper of the body bag, the bottom zipper of the body bag, and the following items were cut from the body bag. So they cut it off and sealed individually. Then they were put into envelopes. That was the handles themselves, the body bag handles. The zipper was placed into an envelope, and the zipper for the body bag was placed into an envelope. So they were sending that off for testing, I'm assuming. The following items were collected: wrapped separately, sealed individually into an envelope. The blue plastic pieces, they're calling that trace evidence. One was on the right leg, and that was actually attached to the torso still. So the part of the leg that was still attached, that hadn't been dismembered off, that had blue plastic on it. And the part of the leg that had got dismembered off also had the blue plastic on it. The following items were collected and placed into the same black biohazard bag, then into a brown paper bag, and that was sealed inside another black biohazard bag. Leggings, which were in 3 pieces. So the leggings, remember, had been cut. The top of the leggings was one, and then they cut the legs of the leggings off and rolled them down around her ankles. They collected her underwear, her shirt, and her socks. The following items were also collected and sealed in the biohazard bags by the police, and that was the body bag and the trash bag. And that concludes the medical examiner's autopsy report. Whoo, girl. Hold on one second. I got to go get my coffee. BRB. Okay. So, I don't even know what a hacksaw looks like. I don't think this is a hacksaw. I'm going to tell y'all why. I just Googled hacksaw. So there's a theory going around. There's a theory going around that he did a hacksaw out of a 3D printer. This is what a hacksaw looks like. Okay. Like this. But a hacksaw's got to be held in your hand regardless, even if it's a really big one. Let me try XL hacksaw. They said the markings, the cut marks were relatively flat. I think he had something with more leverage. Definitely not a hacksaw with those clean cuts. That's what I was thinking. It wouldn't be clean cut. It wouldn't be search 3D printed hacksaw. Okay. 3D printed hacksaw. That's what it would look like. I don't think so, y'all. Maybe, but I don't think so. It wouldn't be a very smooth cut with a hacksaw. Right. You're hacking. Maybe a machete. What about one of those katana swords? What about one of those extremely, extremely sharp Japanese swords? You know, he was obsessed with anime. There's a video. Okay, let's see. People are saying they want to see the video. Let's go to it. Get 50% off handcrafted beverages. Hold on, I need to change my account so we don't get ads. Let's be clear. This is the 3D printed hacksaw. Okay, I'm not going to play the music because it might be copyrighted, but this is the 3D. This is the process of 3D printing a hacksaw. It's just music playing. He's not talking. Okay, I'm going to turn it on 1.5 times the speed. So I guess this is like the handles components. Let me put this. Did D4VD 3D print a hacksaw? That's what we're investigating. My sons have a katana. It cuts smooth, almost like a scalpel. I think it was like a sword. He was obsessed with Japan. They would be able to see that on the incisions, though. Well, they got plastic in there. Brand new blades have blue plastic shrink wrap. That's true. Maybe a samurai sword. Seems like too much effort for him, honestly. True. This is a lot of work. I think 3D printed something, but definitely not a hacksaw. That's interesting. So this is the process where he's 3D printing this hacksaw, this person. This seems like a lot of work. I don't think this is what it was, y'all. I'm just, the more and more I look at this, I think no. And it don't look like he 3D printed this part, did he? That looks like regular metal. That's regular metal saw. I don't think plastic can cut through human bone, y'all. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say it. I don't think it was this. I'm going to say no. Okay. Let's see what's going on with the preliminary hearing. D4VD preliminary hearing. Let's go to Steve Fisher too. Okay, they have updates here. They just called this article updates. I appreciate that. The hearing was pushed. Knew it. There's a video of him cosplaying. He has a pickaxe and a katana. Let me go to SF Investigates. There's so much news going on right now. My God, the world is ending, burning, not ending. I'll say Babylon is burning. We'll say that. Okay, so Steve Fisher has not updated yet. I did hear from Toxic Tiger Platypus that the hearing got pushed back. Nick said in either case, it said it was a smooth cut, not serrated like a saw. Anything that can cut through bone is very strong. I know. A sharpened katana. Aren't there pics of tarps where he's making those awful shirts? Yeah, y'all, but I think it's pieces of plastic, like that came off from friction or force of using like something. And the thing is, the plastic is on the dismembered part of the leg too. So it might not actually be the thing that that she was the cause of death. It may be the thing that he cut her up with. Because like the thing that killed her don't necessarily have to be the thing that dismembered her. You see what I'm saying? Somebody said a katana or a samurai sword will be more like what we're thinking, especially if it's smooth. Let me show y'all what a katana looks like. Just say you never played Mortal Kombat and go. That was about the most violent thing I could ever play. And fighting Bowser. These are katanas. See how they're big, long swords? And they're extremely, extremely sharp. Let me see. Katana demonstration. Katana cutting demonstration. Ninja training with samurai, sharp samurai sword. Sensei, Mark Romke. Remke.
We're here today with a Shinken blade, a live blade. This type of training is very dangerous, so you want to make sure that you're paying attention and what your surroundings are around you, and that you're treating the weapon at all times as though it's very sharp, which this one is. I picked this one up off the internet for around $200. It's a nice cheap weapon, and it's easy and very sharp to cut through things. See, did you guys even see that one cut through?
Whoa. Okay, I just learned a lot just now. You can just buy them on the internet for $200, and it's very sharp, and it cuts so precisely that it just flew right through that pool noodle, and it didn't even disturb it or disrupt it. He said, "Did you even see that?" No, I didn't.
It's easy and very sharp to cut through things. See, did you guys even see that one cut through? It's that fast. It's that quick and easy. No, just joking. I already got that one, but I thought that would be fun.
He was kidding. He was kidding. He tricked us.
We're going to do the first cut today as a kesagiri. Kesagiri is a diagonal cut. What I want to do is not treat the sword like an axe where I'm chopping down and using my strength to have that force go through. But with the blade, you're going to be pulling that cut through and sinking at the same time. And that's what starts to get this cut to happen. Because of the design of how a katana was, there was a slight angle in it. It works so that it gets a touch and then cuts and draws along, and this pulls the cut deeper as it goes along the weapon. This is at a 45-degree angle, and I'm going to sink and draw this cut right through.
Okay, let's see. I'm ready.
And I'm cutting through. You want to make sure that you get the velocity and that speed coming through that cut, so that you start to get your angle at a 45 like this.
Okay.
Some people will cut in and they'll take their angle.
So Nikki is saying, this is way too big for a 2-inch cut. True. But y'all remember, the day that the prosecutors are saying Celeste Rivas Hernandez passed away is April 23rd. The day they're saying she was dismembered is May 5th. He might have bought something in that time frame. They're not saying that the cause of death, which was the 2 stab wounds, is the same thing that was the dismemberment. She was like The body was just there somewhere for like almost 2 weeks before the cutting part happened. I'm just going to Google. They're going to put me on a list, but this is for research and I'm doing it live here with y'all. So y'all are my witnesses. Can a katana cut through bone? Also, the biggest bone in the human body, from what I remember from studying in school, is that femur bone. So to cut through that thing is hard. Yes. Equality, they're saying yes. And I don't, maybe my pig farm visions have something to do with it. Could he have butchered somewhere at a pig farm? I'm saying. Could have did those cuts from a distance? Yeah, y'all vouch for me. This is why I'm Googling it. Y'all are my witnesses. Can a katana cut through bone? Yes. It can cut through a bone, but it is difficult. And it depends heavily on the skill of the wielder and the quality of the blade. Historical and modern tests confirm the capability. It is not an effortless slice like in the movies. So it depends on your technique and alignment and things like that. Somebody said I looked up the bone was cut through smooth is what it did look like. That's what it looked like to me. If a samurai can fall on their sword, it means it can cut through the rib cage, right? I guess. Ain't no way David could do this. He does weigh about 125 pounds. Christine said, I can't wait to see what David's search history looks like. I wonder if any of his friends were samurai enthusiasts. I'm going to look up D4VD samurai sword. Oh, that's on YouTube. I'm searching. Hold on. D4VD samurai sword. Images. Oh my God. I'm scared. May 17th. This is 15 days after Celeste died. Excuse me. This is 12 days after the dismemberment, alleged dismemberment. This guy made feel it, by the way. Oh! This is the month Celeste died. Okay, so he had, okay. Well, BJ investigates. We gon' find the truth. We gon' crack the case. Yeah. Woo! Holy sh. And then look. Oh, I did it for the could this be the 1 inch, 2 inch? Now, just to be very clear, it does say it's his official account. My next cosplay will be the deluxe album cosplay. Explore my upcoming deluxe album cosplay. Join me in celebrating David's vibe with creative costumes. Oh, that's an AI generated summary. Okay. Are y'all watching this? Did the LAPD see this? I can't stop watching this. Are y'all seeing this? Mouth agape indeed. Okay, let's see what I want to save this. Hold on. Let me girl, let me just put this in the archive. I'm putting that on the freeform on my David web. David with a katana. The same month Celeste was dismembered, not even 2 weeks after she was dismembered. Here's David. I'm putting this on my web. May 17th, 2026. I'm just so used to like the Reddit kids like finding everything before me that it's like when I actually come across something like this, I'm like, how did I not see this? Okay. D4VD with a katana and some kind of axe. Was like a pickaxe? Is that called a pickaxe? What's that thing called? What's this thing called? The hi ho, it's off to work we go. Oh my god. Y'all, Celeste was dead and dismembered while he made this. He's wearing a purple survivor ribbon on his hips. I'm wondering what that ribbon is and why he's got that around his. Hit that like, y'all. Hit that like if you don't mind. If you don't mind. Okay. I had to save that. Oh my God. Here's another one. This guy made. Oh my God. This is David. The same day as the one we just saw. This guy made Feel It, by the way. 2 Dead Roses. What cosplay should I do next? Holy shit. Okay. I don't know what we're about to see, y'all. This is David's official. Girl. Okay. Well, the question, did he have access to any weapons? Enthusiasts, I think the answer gotta be yes. We have Shiva's Trishul right here. What's that? This is 12 days, not even 2 weeks after the dismemberment, alleged dismemberment. Okay. I'm sure this is like a character, like what he's got, he's dressed up like this character, and that might be a fake knife. By the way, this could be a prop toy. I don't think this is like one of those sharpest things in the world things. Look at him. Look at him. He's in Manila, Philippines. In the Philippines here. Oh, what a nerd. I just hate plastic clothes. I'm so over it. The pickaxe was really just too much for me. That was too much for me. I'm going to put this on the web too. Just your friendly reminder, everyone is innocent until proven guilty. Oh my gosh, we're at a PR here. A record-setting amount of people, 1,100 were just now in the chat. This right here is damning, I would say. Oh, okay. So we do have information here. Robbery suspect stabbed with a samurai sword. Now, interestingly, this is the same month that Celeste Rivas Hernandez's body was found. This has nothing to do with that. I just literally, y'all saw me just find this article. But it does show one thing I think important is that people do and have used these type of swords, these types of weapons, these types of props or costumes for harm, as real weapons. Robbery suspect stabbed with samurai sword during Norristown home invasion. Oh my God, of course, Norristown. One of my best friends in the whole world that I met in law school is from Norristown. A robbery suspect was hospitalized. Yes, come through, Pennsylvania. That is my people. Robbery suspect was hospitalized Tuesday morning because he got stabbed with a samurai sword when he tried to invade somebody's home in Norristown, Montgomery County, Pennsylvania. Police say the suspect, identified as 35-year-old Marcus Armstrong, attempted to rob a man at gunpoint outside a home on Blackberry Alley around 8:45 in the morning. A female victim managed to escape inside the residence, where Armstrong allegedly forced his way in and encountered her roommate, who was armed with a samurai sword. The roommate defended himself. He had the samurai sword and took a swipe at the suspect. It was a pretty chaotic scene this morning, I would say for sure. Armstrong fled the scene and was later found bleeding heavily on Cherry Street, where neighbors witnessed police taking him into custody. When I came out here, he was just laying on the ground. Okay. So these things can cause a lot of damage. All right. I think we've now discovered. Did David own a samurai sword? We need the Reddit sleuths on the case. Thanks so much to Nick The cut was smooth, not serrated. It couldn't have been a saw. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. I mean, I'm not an expert. Thank you for that $2 super chat. Thank you so much, Coco Mochi or Moki, for the $5 super chat. BJ, I appreciate your hard work and dedication. Keep speaking truth to power. I'm trying. Thank you so much, Black Lake, for the $4.99 super chat. Kill Bill 2 at the end fighting scene. I didn't ever see that. I don't think. I thought that was just Hollywood being overly dramatic. I don't know. I don't know that scene. Thank you for the $4.99. Thank you so much, Carly. Oh, Carlicia, for the $1.99. He has the animated video using the sword. Right. We watched that yesterday. The what was the name of the song? Was it Alive? What was the name of the song? Thanks so much to Kimberly for the $2. I think he used an orthopedic instrument. I don't know what that means. Thank you for the $2. And thank you to Handmade by Gas for the $9.99 super chat. Girl, what did you just find? Something scary. Something that scared me. He said, you come in here, you going to get got. And he did get got. Crazy. The song is called Rehab. Got it. Okay, let me see if there's anything breaking. The hearing should be over by now. Let's see. Okay, y'all. I have a breaking news announcement as of 10 minutes ago, and it is bad. So if you have any, sensitivities, this is your warning. Yuck. Breaking news. Prosecutors on David. His phone, well, I'll show y'all this. Look. David had tons of child blankography on his phone. Chock full of it. Oh my God. David's iPhone contained a ton of child you-know-what-ography, at least according to prosecutors. The singer was in court Thursday, exactly 1 year to the day of when prosecutors claim he murdered Celeste. He's there for a status hearing on his upcoming preliminary hearing, which has now been set for May 1st. So just over a week. He's going to be back in court again. During the hearing, prosecutors claim they went through his phone and found a significant amount of child pornography, but it's unclear if the alleged what it is features Celeste. Oh my God. The predator poachers are going to have a field day with this. Where's Gideon? We need Gideon to chime in here. Why didn't Gideon and that guy with the red hair, Alex Gunther Gordon, catch David? Aren't they from Texas? It's unclear if Celeste is in this child you-know-what. David was shackled, and this time he was wearing an orange jail jumpsuit. He was calm, cool, and collected and looked kind of bored because he's completely desensitized. He's completely desensitized himself to this stuff. He thinks we're the weird ones. He thinks we would be weird for finding this stuff to be unacceptable. And that's why people like David have to be locked up forever. And I think we should absolutely just start doing the death penalty because we're going to have to keep this loser alive for the next 57 years or whatever. He spoke briefly to the judge, telling her, yes, ma'am, as she explained to him how the preliminary hearing is going to work. David's high-powered defense team, led by Blair Burke, how could you possibly defend this man, told the judge prosecutors didn't turn over that evidence. And the LA County Deputy District Attorney Beth Silverman explained her reasons for the delay. David pled not guilty earlier this week, and his defense challenged the DA to put their cards on the table, like Pokino. I was trying to collab on a song with my cousin Tufstino. And I had AI made a beat or whatever, just to kind of get, the collab going. And I was like, something, something, something. We know, put the cards out the deck, Pokino. And he was like, how do you know what Pokino is? Nobody knows what that is. I'm like, oh, I do. If you know, say, anyway. I'm not trying to make light of this situation, y'all. I'm actually feeling a little warm and a little dizzy just reading it. So I have to sometimes take a little comedy break for comedic balance, just because it's kind of difficult to talk about this stuff. Okay. So, put the cards on the table or fold, demanding an immediate preliminary hearing. The prosecutors said in court Thursday they're going to be ready for next week's preliminary hearing, and they want to go to trial within 60 days. Can we get some in the chat? They said, we ain't doing no Sean P. Diddy Puff Daddy Combs. No, ma'am. We want to go within the next 3. Let's do it this summer. Let's just do it this summer. And I think it's because the prosecutors are well prepared for what this case is going to bring, because they've ran like 3 or 4 through the grand jury versions of this trial. Prosecutors said in court they're going to be ready for next week's preliminary hearing, and they want to go to trial within 60 days too. David was arrested by LAPD last Thursday, and prosecutors charged him Monday with murder in connection with Celeste's death. He was also charged with lewd and lascivious sexual acts with a person under 14 and the mutilation of a human body. Prosecutors claim David unalived Celeste with a, quote, sharp instrument, and the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner says the teenager died from multiple penetrating injuries before having her arms, legs, and 2 fingers amputated. The DA, the prosecutor, claims David was having relations with Celeste when she was 13. And when she threatened to expose him and devastate his musical career, he invited her to his Hollywood Hills home on April 23rd, exactly a year ago, and killed her. Prosecutors claim David later cut up the body, stuffed it in 2 bags, kept her remains in the trunk of his car for over 4 months as the body decomposed. Now, I will say, I don't think that's exactly how it happened. I think he had help. I don't think she was in that trunk for no 9 months or however long they're trying to say. April, May, June, July, August, September, 4 months. I don't think so. That's my opinion. I don't know. I wasn't there. There's going to be more charges to come. Yeah. Thanks so much to Wicked Vixen for the $20 super chat. Love you and your content. Keep doing what you're doing. Thank you so much. Thank you. Love you, mean it. Thank you, Black Lake, for the $4.99 super chat. Just goes to show it doesn't matter how you were raised. Traditional, conservative, religious, etc. Homeschool, sheltered, it really don't matter. Hope he gets life without parole. I hope he gets innocent until proven guilty. They could be lying and making stuff up on our man David, okay? I want to keep an open mind because I don't know the truth. I don't know what happened. But from where I'm sitting right now, if what they are alleging of him is true, I hope they go all the freaking way. Thanks so much, Celestial Essence, for the $5 super chat. I joined late. Sorry if this was already asked, but I see mixed things about if they're able to use the music videos as evidence. Love you, cuz. Thank you for that $5 super chat. I think they will be able to bring in the music videos somewhat. I think some of it will probably get left out. Some of it will get put in. They certainly can use it as evidence for some things, but probably not for the truth of the matter asserted, which is like, would make it like, violate an evidence rule. But I think they're going to be able to get some of this in. And speaking of which, I saw somebody's video, and I want to make sure I'm staying on top of the like actual breaking stuff. Golly, that is just so disgusting. Child, you know what? David Tesla case. Child, you know what? Ography. I know Gideon is about to have a field day. Tons of it. Child, you know what? Ography. And again, this is sounding so much like that 764 stuff. They're so desensitized. Somebody said the lyrics are so literal. I truly hope they can use them. Let me show y'all. Oh, I'm going to have to go on my... There's this lady on YouTube. She's actually a huge creator. Her middle name's Lynn. That's what I remember. I'm going to have to go into the history. I'm going to have to go in the history of the stuff that that I've been watching to find her video. But she had such an amazing theory and ended up being true. Or not true, but you know what I mean. This right here. It ended up having some veracity. Her name is Layla Lynn Media. I'll give her a subscribe. She posted this a few hours ago, but let me turn this on like 1.25 times the speed and look at this. This is like along those lines of what you're asking about Christine, or who was it that was asking? I don't remember who was asking now. There are more victims going to come out, they're saying. Interesting. Layla Lynn, y'all know her? Okay. So shout out to her. I just want to play, I'm going to speed it up here. I just want to play her theory that she said. She had a theory and it ended up kind of like being like, okay, there's some support for the theory.
What's up, you guys? It's Layla Lynn and I'm back with a new video. In this video, I want to talk about the autopsy report. The results have been released for Celeste Rivas Hernandez. And when we discuss these results, I want to talk about them compared to his album cover. I did a video on my crime channel about his withered album cover.
It's so smart.
Told you guys, her body is cut up on the album cover. I explained to you guys, like if you look at her shoulder, if you look at her fingers, you can see that her body is cut up on the album cover. So I felt like, and I presented on my crime channel, that this album cover for his withered album is a diagram. This is a diagram. It's an illustration of a crime scene. This beach setting, people in the comments, people on social media have identified this beach, but specifically the cutouts, the black and white cutouts are an illustration of a crime scene. And I feel like he was illustrating with this cutout of Celeste what he did to her body.
And watch.
This is all alleged. This is all alleged, and in my opinion.
So she says, look, and we've talked about this album cover before, and we might have talked about this theory. I've talked about this case so much and other stuff I don't really remember. So if I've already talked about her specific theory before, shout out to her still, but I don't remember it. If you zoom in and you look at this right here, this is David's this was the most recent post on David's Instagram account at the time we all found out about Celeste and David and all that. Yes, Nikki, I did cover the child, you know what? Yes, I did. We did talk about this. And we did talk about how this is like, it looks like David and maybe Neo and Celeste and, maybe some other little girl. I definitely remember talking about the album cover. This was an album that he was going to put out and it never got put out. He was about to release another album in September, the same month that Celeste's body was found. He was about to release another album. And he never did. It got shelved or whatever. But if you look right here, it does look like her arm is cut right above the elbow. This would be like the elbow or whatever. And then here's the arm. And if you look at the left eye, it is like a black smudge, right? And we know she was missing her left eye. If you look at this side of her body, that's the side where the stab wounds are. It's all scribbled over. And importantly, there's more people here than just David. She's holding two fingers up. Which fingers were missing? The pinky and the ring finger were missing. So if those two fingers are missing, which only other fingers could you possibly hold up? The two. Now, the one thing about this is this would be the wrong hand. But if this is supposed to be Celeste, and this is maybe supposed to be David, and I said it before too, like, what is he, like the Pied Piper skipping down the beach? Who is this supposed to be? I don't think David did this stuff alone. I don't think he did it alone. I don't think the insects carried off the two fingers. I think he cut them off, or whoever it was cut them off as a trophy. Now, here's the thing too, they were saying on the Reddit, and I want to pull this up. It's about the tattoo. So this is not specifically confirmed, but we have talked before about there being a picture from an account that people largely associate with being Celeste's, like Discord or some account. And she posts her left finger, which is where in the United States we wear our wedding or our engagement ring on the left so-called ring finger, the one next to the pinky. This is my one. And there's like my fingers aren't that mobile. Like right here, there's a tattoo in red ink that says David. Can y'all hear me? There's a tattoo in red ink that says David. Let me see if I can find that post. Oh, y'all are saying Steve Fisher tweeted. Let me go to Steve Fisher's Twitter. Let's do the breaking news. SF Investigates was in the hearing. It has been continued as I suspected. The David preliminary hearing has been continued until May 1st. Matters of procedural importance were discussed today, mostly about transferring discovery from the DA's office to the defense. Items of interest came up that include David's device containing a significant amount of child bleep, which requires special handling. So you can't just be passing that off. 1200 in the chat. It's a record. You can't just be passing off child you know what. Especially you can't be just passing it off to David in the jail cell. So there's certain ways that the prosecutors have to handle this illegal content. Now, it wasn't said whether or not David, the supposed child porn that they found on his phone was of Celeste. It wasn't mentioned if it was or wasn't, but there are specific protocols how that type of content, I'm not calling it content like online content. I'm just saying like it's something, how that has to be handled. It obviously can't just be being passed around all over the place. Yes, please, can I get a like? Can I get a like? Items of interest came up in the hearing, including that David's device or devices contained a significant amount of child bleep, which requires special handling. There's also a large amount of data from a wiretap. They tapped David's phone. They put wiretap on his phone. Oh my God. Search warrants will be unsealed. New search warrants from devices at the time of his arrest have not had returns yet. David did not look confident in court today, in my opinion. Okay, so we're getting mixed reports on David's level of confidence. TMZ reported that he looked unbothered and kind of bored. But we do have SF Investigates saying he didn't look too confident today, actually. He was in his little orange jumpsuit. And here's what I'm wondering. How did they get the stuff from David's device if the warrants hadn't come back yet from the time of arrest? Did he turn over his devices, or was it anything he had on his person at the time they could take? I do know that there's something in the law called a search warrant or a search incident to arrest. So if you have it like on your person, the cops can, tap and pat and whatever. Maybe they got a search warrant for his device before they got an arrest warrant. I'm not exactly sure how this works. He seems dissociated. Yeah, or demon possessed. They tapped his phone. They really do have a lot on him from the jump. We know TMZ loves to defend the PDF files. Celebrite could have recovered deleted data. I don't know what that means. Oh, the cloud data. That's real? They really can get that off of that? I mean, I didn't assume somebody would be saving that type of stuff on the cloud, but David was doing all this stuff just right out there in the open. If his computer was connected to his iCloud, it doesn't matter if it's his phone or not. I wonder if they confiscated it till the search warrants came through. Well, if they did, they weren't supposed to be looking at it. You can buy people's online data very easily. Yeah. Police often use that to bypass warrants. Yeah. I know that, like just regular data, but like the actual child, that was found on allegedly found on his phone. Isn't all of that stuff linked together? Yeah, we're finding out a lot of stuff here. There was a wiretap. There were also search warrants that will be unsealed. New search warrants from devices at the time of his arrest have not had returns yet. David did not look confident in court today. Let's see if he's tweeted anything else. Was Flojo in there? Is he live? These days, you don't even need the actual phone. They can get into his cloud. Yeah, but what's this about then? Why is he saying search warrants from devices at the time of his arrest have not had returns yet? So they haven't gotten the stuff they wanted for the time of his arrest. They must have had search warrant before. Okay, let's see if there's any more other breaking news. Okay, so one big breaking news that we found out today, David allegedly, according to prosecutors, had a lot of child you know what on his phone. A ton. A ton is what they've been saying. New devices. Right. It could be he had computers, laptops, MacBooks, Chromebooks. Who knows? Who knows? They could have intercepted messages through the tap. Definitely possessed. Yeah, girl. I mean, come on. Thank you so much to Carrie the Great for the $2 super chat. Thank you, BJ, for all you do to keep us informed. 40 terabytes is crazy. Is he on Sue EAEE watch? No. It was reported yesterday. No, he was not. Let me see. D4VD. I just did David breaking authorities. Let's see. David. This is crazy. Look at this. David on YouTube sang that song Afterlife, and it was posted to YouTube the day Celeste was dismembered, according to prosecutors. David tour tickets, girl. I don't think we're gonna be going on David tour no time soon. If the feds were involved, they have access to cyber crimes. I bet his Discord has a lot of stuff. Let's go to the Reddit. I know they probably blowing up over there. I'm just so glad stuff's moving on this case. Oh God, it feels like a relief. Okay, let's go to new. The blind item was right. Okay, so there was a blind item, I guess. Oh, here was the blind item from September. I remember this. Put a 2 in the chat if you remember this blind item. From September 19th. This was like 2 days after Celeste was even identified. The Dead in the Frunk rapper, which he's not a rapper, he's more of a singer, artist, bragged about how he has hundreds of hours of beep he has recorded with underage girls. And yesterday I saw it on Twitter and I didn't reshare it, but there was somebody, it was like it looked like it could be like a Stan account type of account. And they were like, y'all don't want to hear this. Y'all don't want to talk about this. But David had recorded himself having beep with underage girls. And then a bunch of people went into the comments of the tweet or, like under the tweet. And they were like, it's called R. It's not called da-da-da. It's called, you know what I mean? I'm trying to, follow the rules over here. But people were really taking issue with the fact that this lady had said, or this Stan account or whatever had said, David recorded himself having beep with instead of assaulting or abusing, because legally, they're like having beep with means consent or whatever. But I felt like people like really missed the whole point, which was what the account was actually trying to say. But I didn't want to retweet that because it was like a Stan account, like an anonymous Stan account. And it might have been AI. It might have been AI, but how did it know this? It tweeted it yesterday. Let's see what else. David had tons of what on his phone. I'm going to call it cupcake or cheese pizza. And I know I know a lot of people do take issue with that because it kind of softens like what it really is. But for me, if I have to talk about this for hours and hours on end, I'm a very sensitive soul. Okay. I'm a very sensitive soul. I close my eyes when they kill things in the movies. When there's a scene that somebody's going to die, I close my eyes. I'm very sensitive. That's the first thing. So I can't constantly like desensitize myself by saying these words all the time. So I'm going to call it cheese pizza or cupcake. Y'all are just going to have to like, go with it. Another reason for me using those words is for the terms and conditions. I want to follow them and I don't want to be in any kind of trouble. I want to be able to, not have my voice limited or anything like that because of words. But yes, I understand it is in some ways there's a criticism of like softening the language. You're not calling it what it really is. I hear you. But when I'm in my own time offline, I'll call it what it really is. Ain't no reason for me to be desensitizing me and myself and my whole audience with all that harsh and horrendous and ghastly language. Thank you, Kimberly. Orthopedic instrument. I don't know what that is. Thank you for the $2 super chat. I'll look it up. Thank you so much to Panic Mixie Dream Ghoul. That's a funny name. That's cute. For gifting 5 memberships to the new live show. Make sure y'all are subscribed. Just to remind y'all, this is BJC live show. This is not Surprise Witness. Thank you so much for those 5 gifted memberships. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much to Carrie the Great for the $2 super chat. Thank you for all you do to keep us informed. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Kim, I stand corrected. You're so right. Thank you for the $4.99. I stand corrected. Kim said, hold up, he is a rapper. I will not get indicted. Yes, I do. I'm going to get him on sighting. Oh, bet you got indicted today. Actually, officially, I don't know if he's been indicted. Thank you for the $4.99 super chat. I just subbed, loving this new channel. Yeah, I will not get indicted. Okay, so I want to go to the tattoo. So we'll get to it. Let's just read through what they say on the Reddit. These blind items were true. This is disturbing. The Dead and the Frunk rapper bragged about how he has hundreds of hours of beep he recorded with underage. The rapper with the video player type initials was not only running a string of underage girls, but filming them too. The buzz is that the girl died during the making of a movie where a person ends up dead. Put a 4 and the 3 in the chat. Put a 3 in the chat if you remember me saying yesterday that I keep seeing it in my mind's eye. That it was supposed to be like a it's on camera, it's being live streamed. And she's like, and they're all around and they all got to take a turn. Y'all remember that? That is in this blind item. What if she wasn't supposed to die? Yeah, I avoid saying this word, but yeah, if you want to read on screen. So it's not, yeah. Again, y'all, please, I want to be very clear. Nobody take this as some type of fact. This ain't a fact. This is a blind item. Okay, it's gossip in Hollywood. But they sometimes turn out to be true. This is blind item revealed on October 6, 2025 from September 19, 2025. The Dead and the Frunk rapper bragged about how he had hundreds of hours of corn he recorded with underage girls. This one, the rapper with the video player type initials, not a rapper, was not only running a string of underage girls, but filming them too. The buzz is that the girl died during making a movie where a person ends up dead. They are never beating the Hollywood ritual Illuminati allegations. This is like the Manson stuff. And tell me, put a 4 in the chat if you also remember my other theory. And it's not a theory where I think for sure it happened. I just think it could be a possibility that David was kind of starting to act like maybe he wanted to be a producer. He wanted to be a Diddy. He wanted to be a Jay-Z mogul type. Like he wanted to be a manager. I think he wanted to manage people. And I have this feeling actually, I'm going to actually place my prediction, place my theory here and say, I actually think have a strong feeling. It's just an urge. It's not a fact. It's just like a, I get those little somebody called them a airdrop. I get like, oh, where Celeste wanted to maybe be famous. She maybe wanted to be an artist or a singer or something. And David was like, I'm going to make you into an artist. You can be my artist. This kind of supports that. Running a string of underage and also filming. This is 821 Pink Peppermint from MAC. Not sponsored. I did get it on the 20% off Sephora sale though. I've been wanting to try that one out. So when it went on sale. Okay, what else is Reddit saying? David had tons of child, cupcake. According to TMZ, the prosecutors claim he had cheese pizza. No other news source reported this yet. This is still questionable, by the way. Wait for it. I'm here for you still. Oh, yeah, it looks like a ghost. A Celeste lookalike. Does anyone have the unpaywalled article about Sophia? Last time I was in here, she was under a lot of heat, but today I found this article about her that seems like maybe it could be defending her. All victims should report to LAPD. Preliminary hearing. Besides the body found in David's car, what other evidence is there against him? Okay, Withered album producer. Okay, so here's the album, the Withered album producer. His name is Jack Hallenbeck. This was posted on April 14th, so this would have been about 9 days before the alleged supposed murder. Let's see what they're saying.
Where are you from? Be investing in this?
This is the one.
Which
one? Is it Whitaker?
Is this fucking farm boy? I'll beat the shit out of it.
Freak out.
Are you still dating that minor?
I don't get it. What's
Where are you from? We need to be investing in this?
This is the one. Which one? Is it Whitaker?
Is this fucking farm boy? I'll beat the shit out of it.
Freak out.
I don't know what that's supposed to be. The cross. What cross? This. Oh, it is his right hand. It is his right hand. It's his right hand in this one. No more side quests. This is the day his album came out, the day after the tour was announced, or 2 days after the tour was announced, and 2 days after Celeste died. No more side quests, you guys. Can't bully me anymore. Ha 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 ha. And people are speculating that the bullying is all the comments that David kept getting in his Discord. I mean, he was getting comments like, just wait till the police find you. Oh, it's the last part. They say, are you still dating that minor? I didn't hear that. Let me go back. Thank you. Panic Mixie Dream Ghoul. Oh my, Shake. Yeah, Shake. Send me that to my email. I'm not going to watch it on this live, but I'll take a look at it. Let me go back. They're saying, are you still dating that minor? That's what they said. Let me go back. I didn't hear that. I did not hear that. Trap Lore Ross was at the preliminary hearing. That's interesting. Asia feeling the heat. This was just posted 4 minutes ago. I hope they get you, Ghislaine Maxwell. They coming for you. Aren't you the one that knew your friend was dating a 13-year-old and did nothing? Dang, you fine. Super. See, you're an evil person. Now everybody knows. I don't encourage or endorse this type of thing where people are going and saying things to people. But let me go back to y'all are saying that they said, I'm like, I don't get it. I don't know what's so special about this. Let me see.
Be investing in this?
This is the one. Which one? Is it Whitaker?
Is this fucking farm boy? I'll beat the shit out of it.
Freak out.
Are you still dating that minor?
I heard it that time. Are you still dating that minor? 9 days later, she would be dead. Innocent until proven guilty. But this was posted on 2 days after she died, according to the prosecutor's date of death. And it's this on his hand. He's like made it into a cross. Anything to make fun of the Lord, right? I mean, old video of David freestyling about murmur. I'm gonna shoot him right down. Body hit the ground. Murder all my friends. Call me Melly in a town. I will not get indicted. I'll shoot him on sight. And what? He gonna pull up in a. I'm gonna testify in court. Your Honor, I did not buy him. I did not even try him. So he's basically like saying he's gonna like lie in court testimony. That might make it in. Isn't that called drill? Girl, I don't know. I'm not an expert. I think drill is a little bit more from the UK cousins. Thank you so much to Ngude 2003 for becoming a new member. Oh my God, thank you so much for the $49.99 super chat. This is for all you do through the years. Laugh, dry time. Oh, you laugh every time I say rebuke. Thank you so much. Thank you. That's very generous super chat. Thank you. It's the last part. He's still dating that minor. That is crazy. Thank you for the $5 super chat. And also thank you. No, this was before. Confirmed rapper. Oh, confirmed not a rapper. He ain't a rapper. He ain't a rapper, they saying. He acts like a 3-year-old. No, I know a 3-year-old. He don't act like that. There were rumors that Asia and the manager had something going on despite him being married. Makes you wonder why he got kicked out of school. I've always wondered it. I've been asking that question. Oh my God, 13 in the chat. New PR. Let's get the likes to 700, can we? Candy wrapper. She's so sweet. She wanna lick the wrapper. So I let her lick the wrapper. Hold on before they copyright me. Oh, I'm so curious why he got kicked out of school. Me too. If y'all go watch my BJ Investigates on it, I asked that question routinely and repeatedly. Remember that they made David's family... Remember that call they made to David's family that was supposedly a false allegation or accusation? I don't remember that. Blue is the most common and widely recognized color for general purpose tarps. I don't think that came from a tarp. David used Celeste, we're on the Reddit. David used Celeste's voice for his music career after she had already died. I don't know if that's Celeste's voice or not. It could have been AI. It could have been somebody that sounded like her. You know, people from the same generation often sound a lot alike. Maybe kids that grew up in the same area. But to me, just to be very clear, it did sound a lot like Celeste. Attorneys are very careful and specific about what they say. Yup. Yeah, okay. So Historical Deer must be following my channel. If Historical Deer is in here, hi, hey, shout out. Attorneys are careful about the language they use. Anyone else notice how his defense attorneys are really only saying he didn't cause her death? They're not saying a word about the other charges. Yeah, I did notice that. I want to get to that tattoo. That's what we're in here looking for, but we're just going to go through the posts until we get to that. Blue is the most common. Will the trial be televised? Probably not. This is a close quarter hacksaw. Okay. Sometimes this film is left on the blades, especially when the entire tool is purchased and not just the blades separately. You will also see this type of film on other tools and items to protect the finish or the coating, sometimes clear, sometimes blue. I thought about the coating of a hacksaw as well because it will rub off or flake off depending on the brand. But this is paint or powder coat and not plastic, unless it was misidentified as plastic. Could be. I'm not reading that. Shout out to Rabbit, down the rabbit hole news. Okay. Let's see what else. Celeste's parents will not be attending. I'm trying to get to that David tattoo. David hadn't left Celeste's body in the Tesla. We wouldn't even be talking about this. And I don't know who left her body in there. He's innocent until proven guilty. God dang it. Hold on. Let me just. Go to top. Y'all saw this too, right? Yesterday. David allegedly included killing Celeste in his animated music video from late 2023. Holy, look, there's a knife going through exactly on that exact spot. Okay, hold on. I got the autopsy here. Oh no, wait. Is that not the... Hold on. Let me pull the autopsy results up. Okay, hold on. I want to show y'all the diagram. Okay. See where that is? See where this is? Kind of like if you were to go straight down the middle, it's off to the side right here. Look at this. People are like, OMG. Hi, shout out to the new subbies. Thanks so much, Mr. Lord, for the $20 super chat. I've been listening to you for hours. Love your new channel. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for the $20 super chat. Did he cut the arm off first? Yes, this video has like an anime character, you know, star or whatever, getting sliced up or slicing up a girl. Openly reenacted and really, and like, don't forget that Itami character. It means death or fear. He told on himself. The arm was missing in the cartoon, isn't it? Yeah, he chops him off in the video. what do I have it? Let's go by top. Autopsy report. Look, this. This is what I saw yesterday. And people were like, it's not that. You're calling it the wrong thing. It's called R word. And she did eventually respond and say, yeah, I'm not getting my Twitter account took because of saying stuff like that. Y'all can fill in the blanks. David recorded, this is yesterday. This is before the meeting today. The hearing today is when it came out that the cheese pizza or the cupcake material was on David's phone, according to prosecutors. I didn't see it and I hope I never do. This was tweeted yesterday. David recorded himself having beep with Celeste, by the way. That's why he's being charged with very specific crimes. Lewd and lascivious sexual acts. When he went on tour and left them computers, it's all in his iCloud. Even their argument, he can deny all he wants. Now, someone said, is this factual info? Girl, I don't know. Medical examiner update. Creator of the cover art for Romantic Homicide. Someone said, I am the creator of the cover art for Romantic Homicide. Girl, I don't know what that is. Okay. For those asking for proof. Oh, I guess this person was working on that. Okay. David is not on self-unalive watch. David's brother rebranded himself, came across this page on Instant. It looks like him with makeup. David had tons of child beep on his phone. $40 terabytes of evidence. I'm looking for this tattoo. I want the tattoo. Oh, David is at the same jail as Nick Reiner. Somebody said, here are the two star witnesses, Neo and Esmeralda, a favorite cousin of Celeste. What in the hell? Wrapping a finger? What is this?
Almost.
Wait, I don't want to get copyrighted.
Vlog day 11. Currently wrapping up the one and only original Sakuna's finger from Juju's cousin. And yeah, we about to drink some tea.
Wrapping a finger. This guy had to be practicing some type of like occult, whatever. And that's not a conspiracy theory. That, well, okay. That right there was just a theory. However, let me remind y'all of something. Remember this trial, Young Thug, the RICO? Look at this headline. This is from the news, okay? Complex.com. Young Thug's lawyer requests exclusion of goat sacrifice evidence in the YSL RICO trial. The evidence pertains to the 2022 arrest of a YSL or purported YSL member, somebody who was purportedly in the RICO. Now, this got dismissed. It took place during a religious ceremony that allegedly involved sacrificing goats. This is in the news, okay? I'm not making this up. Young Thug's attorney has filed a motion. That was Brian Steele. That was also Diddy's attorney, by the way. Filed a motion to suppress evidence in the Atlanta rapper's RICO trial. The news reported that Young Thug's attorney Brian Steele is asking the court to exclude evidence related to YSL co-defendant Shannon S.B. Stillwell's arrest on murder charges last year. On March 17th, 2022, Stillwell was arrested at his Georgia home while in the midst of a religious ceremony which involved the supposed sacrifice of goats. Worshippers wear all white and sacrifice goats in an effort to bring forth, I don't even want to say the name, which help to run the universe and can grant blessings. Now, what I will tell you about them ones, that's my ancestors too. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, and I don't ask them for nothing. I don't talk to them and I don't ask them for nothing, because guess what? When you ask them for something, you got to give them something. Okay. I don't ask them for anything. So, I'm just chilling. And if anybody tries to sick your ancestor on me with a goat sacrifice, that goat sacrifice is coming right back onto you because it's my ancestors too, and I don't even ask them for nothing. Greedy. Leave the goats alone. Anyway, so what is David doing with this finger? Wrapping up this finger. Apparently there's a press conference in 30 minutes. Let me check. Where'd you get that information? I would like it when y'all, if y'all would give me some info. Like sources. Really helps. This is nuts. Okay, hold on. I don't see anything about that, but if anybody can give me a source for that, I'll go to it and we can definitely watch the press conference for sure. Why has David got a finger wrapping it up? Thank you so much to Red Rabbit for the $9.99. Have you seen the video of his friend Chase Keith called Buzzkill? It was posted a month before Celeste allegedly passed. Like David was the fly on the wall mocking this video. No, let me write that down. Buzzkill. I don't like to just play the videos because sometimes they could be copyrighted and they can block my whole stream. Buzzkill Chase Keith on YouTube. Okay. And thank you for that $9.99. Thank you, Renegade Continuum, for the $5 super chat. Trap Lore Ross said 3D printed saw. That's why the blue plastic bits. I don't think so. I'm going to disagree with that. I don't think plastic can cut through bone, especially a femur. I don't think so. But yeah, I mean, that's a cute theory. That's cute. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Thank you to You'll Clap When I'm Gone for the £5 super chat. So much. Thank you. Thank you to Freebird RV Journeys for the $5 super chat. He wanted us to see all of this, or no? He just thinks we dumb. I don't think he thinks he can get in trouble. I think he just don't think he can get in trouble. Thank you so much for that $5. Thank you so much to Panic Mixie. Dream Ghoul, have you seen the post from Cousin Wendy that have been posted on Reddit? Seems like the family knew and maybe took money. No. No. I did not see that. Thank you, Breezy, for the $5 super chat. So it wasn't him that had the casket and people writing letters? I think he did. I think he did have people writing letters, a goodbye to a friend letters, and they put them in the casket, and I don't know, it was weird. Thank you for that $5. Thank you so much, Kimberly, for another $5 super chat. He could have used an orthopedic instrument. Those have like a blue plastic handle for gripping. Those are used in orthopedic surgery. Oh, let me see. Orthopedic surgical instrument. Blue handle. Okay. You mean like something like this? I don't think that. How do they cut bone in a surgery? I'm scared. Okay. Y'all are my witnesses. This is why I'm looking it up. For the video purposes, how do surgeons cut through femur? Amputate. I hate looking at this type of stuff. I don't want no pictures. Power saw. Power saw. Didn't they find a chainsaw? What is the blue plastic about? A bone. It's called a bone saw. Okay. Okay, y'all are saying they called a bone saw. What's a bone saw look like? Oh, he might have had a bone saw. Okay. All right. He might have had a bone saw. Ugh. Ugh. You'd never know it. I'm from Louisiana. I'm from a long, long line of hunters and fishers, y'all, but they never did. I'm going to tell you what. They let me be a princess. They did not make me cut no fish, skin no fish, cut no deer. No, they didn't make me do that. No. My little sister did it. She liked it. No, thank you. They didn't make me do all that. SF said they left one behind, a saw. Specifically remember Steve Fisher saying they found power tools, right? Well, thought he said farm equipment. It's a circular saw. Wouldn't surprise me if his parents were paid off by him. By who? 3D printed saw, but mind you, those saws in 3D. I just don't think a piece of plastic can cut through the biggest, largest bone in the human body. Did anybody find Did anybody find the supposed press conference? Who's doing a press conference? Let's see if TMZ. That's crazy. I mean, does it surprise me that they found the cheese pizza on his phone? No. No, it doesn't, because I know that he was, according to himself, addicted to gore and started watching Corn. Oh, nice. Handmade by Gas said, surgical assistant here. Basic garage tools, typically electrics or battery operated saws, driver, etc. I am from Louisiana. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, I am. Thanks so much for the $4.99 super chat. I'm from Louisiana. We call it that boots. In the vet. Thank you so much again for that $4.99 handmade by Gas. It's just basic garage tools. Thank you to Grace Davis for the $1.99 super chat. Y'all are making it rain in here. I don't want to even imagine what is on his laptop. I don't want to imagine it. I don't even really want a description. Okay, let's see. Oh, man. I'm typing in the Google David preliminary hearing. Oh, I want to find that tattoo. That's what I was. Los Angeles Times has also published an article. I want to read these different articles because they probably actually had people. They probably actually had people like in there. And they may give us some more information that we didn't already get. David's cell phone contained child cheese pizza, according to the prosecutor in the LA murder case. This is a picture from the other day. This is not from today. A cell phone belonging to David contained a, quote, significant amount of cheese pizza, according to a prosecutor in court today. Los Angeles County Deputy District Attorney Beth Silverman made the claim during a court proceeding to schedule a preliminary hearing on murder charges in the killing of Celeste. The images were uncovered as a part of a broad series of search warrants executed on David's phone and his iCloud. Okay, so they had search warrants. They did search and they found this stuff. David's attorneys have insisted he's innocent and they're demanding a preliminary hearing next week, meaning evidence in the closely followed case could become public as soon as May 1st. He appeared in court today in an orange jail jumpsuit and walked into court with his hands in his pockets. A status hearing was set for this coming Wednesday. He was arrested by police last week. The singer allegedly began abusing Celeste in September 2013. Attorneys have said the case cannot stand up to scrutiny and pushed for the immediate preliminary hearing. They said, no, you're not going to be able to prove that. Celeste was reported missing from her family's home in 2024. Prosecutors allege that Celeste threatened to expose David. David surged in popularity 2022. The details of the crime echoed some of the violent imagery associated with David's songs. The New York-born vocalist has appeared in a music video in which a young woman with an apparent chest wound lies on a bed as the singer hovers over her, blindfolded, his white shirt splattered with blood. In another video, One More Dance, David actually can be seen dragging a person who looks like the singer to a car where a couple then stuffs the person into a trunk. Celeste's decomposed body was found in the trunk. An autopsy report made public this week revealed that she died from a pair of stab wounds to the chest and abdomen. Prosecutors charged him with murder. Okay. Okay, here's another article from today. David murder case. Hearing postponed as prosecutor alleges child cheese pizza found on singer's phone. One day after the autopsy results were released in the case, David was expected to return to court in connection with the killing of Celeste, whose body was found in his trunk. He went to court today. It comes the day after the autopsy report was released. Her remains were found in the trunk. tow yard. Thursday, the judge is going to decide if the singer will be tried for murder. That got pushed off. In addition, the prosecutor alleged there was a significant amount of child beep on his phone. So I bet you they're going to charge with more charges. Let's see if they've updated the this. Let's see. Let's refresh. Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me get to, I got to grab the case number. I want to see if they've updated this. He's free now? No way. No way. Okay. So still the same charges. It doesn't look like they added anything new. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's how many pieces of Celeste's body there were. 7. Proceedings. They had today's and they had this. Okay. Bail. No bail. Sentencing. No sentencing. Events. Not guilty. Register of actions. Preliminary hearing was today. So that now has hit the docket. Where did he do this? They didn't find blood in the house? Was it on the trip? I don't know. They might have found blood in the house. We don't know. We don't know. The entire time in our faces and his fans ate it up. Okay, let me look for D4VD Reddit David tattoo finger. Somebody said David kept Celeste's fingers as a trophy. Oh, Trap Laura Ross said that. Let me see.
And pinky fingers were amputated. This post is going around on Reddit, and they're saying that David actually took Celeste's finger with the David tattoo on it on tour as a trophy. Okay. And here he shows a cut finger.
There is the David tattoo, right? Just in case you something. I'm going to try to find a better, sorry. I'm going to try to find a better picture of it, but this is like a Trap Lord Ross video that he put up yesterday. So he's just reading Reddit. He's like, posts are going around on Reddit saying that David kept these fingers as a trophy. So here's the David tattoo on someone's finger. And then that is the left ring finger, which is like the engagement ring finger or the wedding ring finger. I don't know if that's for sure Celeste, by the way. I don't know if that's for sure Celeste. But they are saying that's Celeste. And so Trap Lord Ross is saying, okay, look, on Reddit, they're reporting David took this finger and kept it as a trophy.
Tour.
There's
and it links
David
to a TikTok.
Wrapping up the one and only original Sakuna's finger from Jujutsu Kaisen. And yeah, you gotta drink some tea, do some vocal warm-ups.
Now, he said it was like seemingly some anime like character or whatever. I thought the tattoo was in red. It was. Trap More Ross is not credible. I mean, he was just reading a Reddit post. I think that the charge might be coming for the what's it called that they found on his phone. I think it might be coming right down the pipe. That's my opinion. And this is that video of him wrapping up someone's finger. Now, when is this video from? I don't know. Oh man, let's see. Dismembered in the same way this video showed. Oh, I don't want new. David could get away. Oh, okay. Wait. SF Investigates has now updated on Twitter with some more information. Let's go there. A couple other items. Okay, cool. A couple of other items of interest from the David hearing this morning. The assistant district attorney confirmed there were 3 separate grand juries that already convened. One, November 2025. The second, December 2025. And this is the month where the cause of death was actually determined to be the stab wounds. And then another grand jury, investigative grand jury, February 2026. 3 separate investigative grand juries have already convened. There's no way they don't have evidence. She also stated that the defense would need to provide a 10 terabyte drive for David's iCloud account alone. Additional search warrants were served on phones, tablets, and other devices at the time of David's arrest. Wow. I think so too. Somebody said all this cheese pizza and the stuff he is now being accused of makes me think more and more he's part of 764. Now, there was like a 764 like expert lady, you know, she's been studying it for a long time and she thinks it's preposterous to assume that he is in it. I'm still wondering, you know. Still wondering. Like that Bradley Cadenhead who started it from the very beginning was from Texas. And that's where David was when it was started. He's one of those people who tries so hard to be edgy and different, and it comes out as such an ick. Yeah. Let's see. TMZ is going to be going live. They're just 90% of what they say is fluff and BS. David sings to his song in his car and promotes new album. Okay, so they just posted a video of David singing in his car. I don't care about that. The CP makes that little girl statue in his house so much worse. Yeah, I don't know if it was in there when he lived there. BJ, what have you found about the apparent wound to David's hand? Well, it kind of looks like it's could have been sustained in the middle of stabbing something, but I haven't really found anything. TMZ can give it. Good job, TMZ. LOL. His boys sang like a canary. Most likely he witnessed some demonic stuff. Someone should investigate Harvey Levin. Just saying. I wonder how many government officials are in 764. TMZ and Mark Garagos, I would say. Rides more for David than his own lawyers do. That's sus. Yeah, I mean, I think that TMZ can be like for hire, truly. What's the latest with Wendy Williams? Girl, you tell me and we'll both know. You heard Cher? Yeah, I heard that about Cher. Oh, it's ridiculous. Elijah Blue has my number if he needs anything. Let's see. Yeah, no, I mean, it wasn't something I was expecting. You know, like, oh yeah, they're going to find child beep on his phone. But like, why would he have that on his phone? Why would he delete that? Knowing he was up for possibly being investigated, at least like delete it. Thanks so much to Nixie for gifting 5 memberships. Thank you, thank you, thank you. TMZ just posting like, check this cool song out, sung by an innocent man. Thank you for gifting me a membership. Yay. Let's see. What else? USA Today. It was 19 minutes ago. Come on. Celeste Rivas autopsy reveals cause of death. I'm going to type in David preliminary hearing. Let's see if NBC has anything else to add. David had significant amount of cheese pizza images on his iCloud account, according to prosecutors. A significant amount of child blank blank material on iCloud storage account. Prosecutors revealed in a hearing today, this is days after he was charged in the murder. Oh my God. David, the 21-year-old performer, David Anthony Burke, he pled not guilty to all that stuff. Attorneys have said they will vigorously defend his innocence. Both sides appeared in court today as David's legal team seeks evidence in the case, noting on Monday during his arraignment, they had received little discovery. Beth Silverman, deputy district attorney for Los Angeles County, said there was an enormous amount of material in the case file, and it's taking a long time to upload. She said David's iCloud account alone had 8 terabytes of data, and that only 1 terabyte so far has been downloaded. They got 7 more to go. She told the court, see, you do get, if you read all the different sources, you'll get like a little bit more info from each one. Only 1 of 8 terabytes so far has been downloaded. The prosecutor told the court that there's a significant amount of child blank blank images on iCloud belonging to David. It's unclear how much of the 8 terabytes of data on the account contain that type of content. Prosecutors noted that protocol prevents them from just turning over those sensitive images. But the defense attorneys can view the data at a clean computer in the Justice Center. So the attorneys will have to go into the Justice Center to look at the cheese pizza. Other evidence in the case requires motions to be unsealed, including a wiretap and the grand jury testimony. What's on the wiretap? There were also 20 to 30 terabytes of raw data from numerous digital devices that the district attorney's office said they are trying to transfer onto drives for David's legal team. David is still being held without bail. He was stoic throughout the hearing. He looked directly at the judge. He was slumped over in his chair while wearing an orange jumpsuit. And when asked by the judge if he agreed to a specific date, he mumbled, "Yeah." Celeste's manner of death was determined to be a homicide, romantic homicide. According to a report, an autopsy found 2 penetrating wounds to her torso that may represent sharp force injuries. She had other wounds that penetrated her liver and her chest, according to the death investigation summary. The teenager's parents are not in court. So Celeste's parents are not in court today, and she would still be 15 even right now. Her family is devastated by the details of their daughter's horrible and gruesome death, according to a statement from family attorney Patrick Steinfeld. These findings have caused profound emotional pain for the family. They respectfully ask for privacy, understanding, and patience as they process this information. The district attorney accused Burke of killing the girl to maintain his lucrative music career, which he said she threatened. She was last known to be alive a year ago exactly today. Celeste was reported missing from her home in Lake Elsinore, California, a year earlier in April 2024, so 2 years ago. Her whereabouts between then and showing up at David's are unclear. A criminal complaint filed against David on Monday alleged abuse of Celeste occurred on or between September 7th, 2023 and September 7th, 2024, while the defendant resided with and had access to the child. So he was living with her, harboring her. Her body wasn't found until September 8th, 2025, when police were called to Hollywood Tow due to concerns of a foul odor coming from the Tesla. It was the day after what would have been Celeste's 15th birthday. A court filing in February showed that David was the target of a grand jury investigation, saying Celeste may have been the victim of foul play. Both his parents, Colleen and Dawood, were ordered to appear on February 11th before a grand jury, according to court documents, but I don't think they showed up. The investigation was hindered by the severe decomposition of Celeste's remains, a crucial as crucial evidence had degraded and disappeared. Prosecutors are seeking four enhancements to the romantic homicide singer's murder charge: lying in wait, financial gain, murdering a witness to an investigation, and the use of a sharp object. The special circumstances could potentially make his a death penalty case. A judge denied requests for cameras in court at the next scheduled hearings. She cited the sensitivity of the child abuse images. Attorneys are expected to meet at the courthouse again next week. And don't you worry, I will be covering that as well. Make sure y'all are hitting that like if you don't mind. Or kidnapping, as we call it. They knew, in my opinion, the parents. Someone sent me a gift. Shout out to whoever got your new membership gifts. Okay, let's go back here. I want to go to the Reddit. Let me go to the D4VD idiots Reddit, because they be posting stuff in there. I keep seeing people say there's other victims and they're going to come forward. I don't know if that's true, but I do keep seeing people say it. SF about the hearing today, mentioning grand jury, additional search warrants on phones, tablets, and other devices. Posts will get deleted if you're just posting what's already posted. October 25th, this blind item was released. I wonder if this will turn into a RICO case. Probably not. David's iPhone has a bunch of cheese pizza. I have a feeling they put a deal on the table for Neo to testify what he saw or helped with to be able to charge David. Crucial witness mentioned by the LADA is to testify in court as evidence along with multiple other witnesses. But who could that specific witness be? What do you mean? Let's see. This was 2 hours ago.
I'm 32 and I haven't started saving for retirement.
Oh, girl, you better start saving.
Wait, I want to ask AI, but
today I am announcing the charges against David Anthony
It's just
Burke.
the press conference. Okay. Oh, look, there's me. I want to bring this very alarming lyric back to light, especially now that we have more information on Celeste's estimated time. Okay, so here's some lyrics. I'm laying my hands on your body again. It's making me nauseous. Oh. You can't make amends with a dead woman, but I'll dance with your coffin. Oh. We turn our pain into medicine, forget that she's gone, and she's not around to see me cry. Thought that you had the Holy Ghost the moment they killed you, but it's still true. That you don't know what happens when lost souls go missing in hell. Sold her the promises you made and the empty man you created yourself. Ha. This is Demon. You're dead, but I can't get over you. Heart starts to race, too hard to move. It's just the way we fell in love. Toxic, but I can't get enough. Heartbreaking cigarettes, smell the room. Set myself a body inside a tomb. 2 bottles of liquor getting poured for you. You're dead to me, and I'm dying too. I've been thinking about being wasted and drowned. This is a song called Dead to Me, Dead Woman. It's unreleased, but of course it's been leaked. I believe he made this song around the time he killed her. Allegedly. According to prosecutors, he killed her. I don't know. I wasn't there. The lyrics strongly support that theory. To me, this song sounds like it was made around the time he killed her and put her body somewhere. According to LAPD, he killed her approximately April 23rd and dismembered her on May 5th. That's a 2-week time period. In the song, he says, I'm laying my hands on your body again, making me nauseous. You can't make amends with a dead woman, but I'll dance with your coffin. He's most definitely describing having to go back to the place where he placed her and having to handle her decomposed body and then dismember her. He's nauseous because of the odor and literal dismemberment. And that was one thing too. Let me see if I can find it. There's a video of there being like a smell. I think we talked about this before. Around a 7-minute mark. Okay, so this is like a stream that David was doing in his house with Neo. I think Asia or someone else is there. This is crime. Oh, same lady. I see. I had already liked it. Crime in context with Layla Lynn. Same lady as earlier with the cut up, diagram thing. The title of the video is David Caught Explaining the Smell in His Home Months Before Celeste Was Found in His Trunk. I don't know exactly when this is from, but it's Sakura's stream, and there's Neo, and then there's David back there.
Fuck this, bro. Fuck all y'all dead ass. Oh. Nah, do we make up? Yeah. ABC. Oh, yeah. I apologize in advance for the way my bathroom smelled. I took a shit there like 2 hours ago.
He said, I apologize for the way my bathroom smelled. I just took a beep in there like 2 hours ago. What died, crawled up in there and died? 2 hours? It still stinks? Girl. Listen to him again. And look at Neo's face when he says it. Almost like he knows he's Duper's Delight. Remember that we talked about?
ABC. Oh, yes. I apologize in advance for the way my bathroom smelled. I took a shit there like 2 hours ago. I don't care. I just took a shit there.
He said, I apologize in advance. So I guess she was about to go to the bathroom. I apologize in advance for the way that my bathroom smells. I just took a beep in there about 2 hours ago.
He said, I want to apologize for the way my bathroom smelled. I just took a shit in there like 2 hours ago. Now, really, if someone had just used their bathroom, 2 hours is a long time. It's not going to stink 2 hours later. If you if you use your bathroom, it's not going to stink 2 hours later. So what he's saying does not make sense.
It don't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
Nope.
But I feel like he's explaining the smell in his home. Because this particular
was the bathroom right up next to the garage? Was the Tesla in there?
This theory doesn't make sense. But everyone around
2 hours, and it still stinks. Kelly said, "Yeah, because he's rotting from the inside." She could be straight from Port Island. She does. She sounds like the cousins and the aunties. Damn, the way Neo is squinting and smirking at David like he knows. Literally, did something die in here? What died in here? Okay, wait, hold on. But did something actually? So the car could be parked right outside the house. You can see the floor plans online. Y'all need to send me a link. I don't think there's a press conference. I think somebody made that up. Let's see. David press conference. It's just the one from 3 days ago. And don't forget, this freaking weirdo is all in the mix. He worked with David on the whole album. Okay, so what does Benny Blanco know? What does Benny Blanco know? I would like to know. That's dark because it could have actually happened in that bathroom. Could have. The bathroom was right over the street where the Tesla was parked. Look at the Zillow. Nothing to smell here. Just David pooping 2 hours ago. Benny Stanko. Oh my God. Something with Neo's expression is very suspect. Ooh, okay. Hear me out. Somebody said he's a, you know what, right? So what if he had all that child beep on his phone because his label or something above him was giving him money for it or something? How else was he able to afford that house in the hills? That's a great question. I know he was up and coming and everything like that. But $20,000 a month on rent for just one house, and he had 2 houses. $20,000 a month, and he hadn't even put out his first album yet. It's just YouTubers live saying press conference, nothing official. Okay. Benny don't even know how to wash his own nasty feet. Benny been real quiet this whole time. Benny Stanko. Benny is a freak. Sent you a photo of his bathroom. Okay, let me go to that. That's the bathroom? Wow, this bathroom is beautiful. Hold on, let me show y'all. Shout out to Flojo TV sending this over. This apparently the bathroom, and it's huge. Apologize in advance for the way the bathroom smells. Flojo, can you send me the address of this? And I'll look up the Zillow. I mean, it kind of does look a little bit AI, like at least this part, this bench. But this is the bathroom. These are probably towel warmers or just maybe towel holders. That rug looks ominous, knowing what we know. So here's the toilet. He said, I apologize in advance for the way my bathroom smells. Hopefully they checked for DNA evidence in his plumbing and pipes. Look carefully at Neo's expressions. They all work together. If David did it, Neo was there, in my opinion. Y'all can't convince me otherwise. Wonder if she was still there in the house when they were in that bathroom. It was a rental. That's crazy, right? Ew, y'all got me screaming. Wasn't there a mention of him purchasing a deep freezer around all this? Yeah, there was a mention of that. And a burn cage and a saw. Allegedly, according to floor plans, the bathroom is located above the garage. I don't want any advice on which words I get to use. Thank you. Wait, girl, didn't he have an incinerator in a box? Mm-hmm. Benny knows, somebody said. Look, the psychics, okay, listen, the psychics and the blind items do keep confirming the visions I got in my mind's eye. What did I tell y'all about the so-called film that I keep seeing in my mind's eye? It's like, I can't really describe it. It's almost like a memory. Like, it's almost like when you're remembering something in your mind, you remember what it looked like, but I wasn't there and I didn't see it happen. It's not a memory, but it almost seems like something that could be a memory. And it's Celeste, and there's 5 people in the room, and they all have to take a turn doing something. And I don't know if it's like poking or what, but there is 5 wounds on her. There's 2 in the front and 3 in the back. So there's that. And now there's a psychic saying Celeste is in good spirits because justice is coming, like the spirit of Celeste or whatever. And there's 5 individuals involved and 1 will get away. And Celeste told her this happens. The home he was staying in was $17,000 a month just for the hiding out. Right. I do think he is Selena Gomez's handler. I do think that. That's just my opinion. It's not a fact. I don't know these people. I'm just guessing. This is a beautiful bathroom. I know. Somebody send me the address. I want to look up on Zillow. I did this before, but now I want to look at it again. Benny and David could have been lovers. Maybe, girl. The shower is big enough to do that job. I hope they checked that drain. I hope they checked the drain. Girl, you're on the right track. It's called clairvoyance. I don't know, girl. I think they call it schizophrenia these days. Andressa said, are you from Louisiana? That's a very French last name. Bouye? How do you say that? Or you're not from Louisiana and you say Boyer. Anyway, Andressa, she said, so you think 5 people were involved? I mean, no, I don't know who was involved. But in my mind's eye, I see Celeste in the middle of a room, maybe on a bed or like an altar. And in the room, like there's 5 people. I don't know if this is where she died, but like maybe it was something else they were doing and she died later. Maybe this is where she died. I certainly don't think David did all of this alone. I don't think so. I could change my mind. Somebody send me the address. Did you give all the updates of the last 24 hours? Girl, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not psychic like that. I get the Cell movie vibes. What's that? It's French. It looks very French. My last name French too. 1368 Vireo Drive. 1368 Vireo Drive, Los Angeles. Let's look at the house. Like I said, we have looked at this before on my channel, but I just want to look again, knowing what we know now. Okay, this is the outside. Beautiful. This is the like dining room area, and you know they got to have a little statue right there in the staircase. Now I think that statue used to be a little girl, but they done changed it out. Is that go to the hidden passageway tunnel? It's pretty in here, but y'all, this decor is a no for me. Like, this is just, please, what did y'all order everything on Wayfair? It's awful. The decor is a no. It looks like a man decorated this. No offense. No offense. They have these little red benches all around. It's a beautiful house. Got good bones. There's the bathroom that we've seen. Oh, good. They have the mason rug. Wonderful. What is this? Living room? Beautiful. I want some of these outside my house so I can sit outside, maybe go live, have a little roof shade. Okay, there's the outside from above. Dining room again. I'm trying to get to the bathroom because where he had said, I just took a beep in there. Here's the other angle of the bathroom. I think the toilet is over here. Another one of these Greek statues or Roman or whatever, neoclassical outside. Oh, pretty. This is the second floor, I guess, like balcony type thing. Veranda. I don't know, girl. Another little bedroom. Oh, girl, it's like I'm tripping looking at this thing. Maybe this is the bathroom they were talking about. Here's the road, the front road. The closet. Whoa. They think they couldn't spring for the built-in $17,000 a month, $20,000 a month. They better build me in some shelves. This must be the master bedroom. The bathroom. Beautiful piano. 3 little birdies with their little Freemason shoes on. We love a duality moment. Here's the chandelier. Ugly. This place looks like it was decorated by like the elite section of Temu. It's just like, ugh. Like, can we get something like brown, something warm, some rich colors? Like, ugh. I'm over this like minimalism thing. I'm so over it. Little breakfast nook. Oh, wow. It's like a dance studio and a gym. That's nice. It is a beautiful house. Okay, I think we're back to the beginning. Okay, let's see if we can find another set of pics. 25 photos here. Well, why won't it let me click? Look, there's the little girl. See it? See, I told y'all there used to be a little girl statue. There's the little girl. They've done now replaced that Or at least maybe they replaced that other one with this one. There's the kitchen. What is this? It's kind of cool. Another bathroom. This is the kitchen, little breakfast nook. This is like a chef's kitchen. Okay, here's that bathroom again. Did they change out the floors? Or that still is the same floors? This looks like it wasn't maybe finished yet. Like these might be earlier pictures. This bathroom is cool, but it is kind of trippy. Oh, they done deleted a picture. Huh. Built-in barbecue pit. Okay, let's go to realtor.com. This one only has 10 photos. I think we've seen these. I'd love to tour the home. I think somebody done rented it, didn't they? You couldn't pay me to live in that torture chamber of a house. Imagine all that's trapped in the walls. I don't like any of the designs. Everything everywhere, all at Temu. I wonder if you can view it from Google Maps. No, it's blurred out on Google Maps. Halle Berry used to live there? Maybe they heard me complain about the creepy little girl bronze statue and took it out. Girl, maybe. The house just went back up for lease. Didn't David stream and play video games on Discord? Maybe that's how he was getting money. Could be. It's all connected with an underground tunnel. My email address, you can do thatsurprisewitness@gmail, or you can do bjcliveshow@gmail, either one. Most houses in LA probably have horrible feelings. Miss me with the bachelor chic decor. Exactly. Okay, wait. Okay, they're saying check my email. Let me see. Oh, so wait, hold on. We can see where they are. Okay, they're inside. They're actually inside the bathroom here. See that floor? See that there? And then here behind her is the shower. Look at the drain. What if it stinks in there because of that drain? What if something went down that drain? And David said, I took a beep 2 hours ago. What if they froze her body before they did beep it? The statue is surveillance? What do you mean? Has camera in it? If you got money, you can get your damn house blurred out on Street View. Has anyone lived in that house after David? I don't know. I do not know. Let me check my email. Somebody said they sent me something. Oh, you sent me his arrest home. Cool. Whoa. Nice. This is the home he was arrested in. It ain't no shack, I'll tell you that. Okay, hold on. Okay. $3 million is how much this house is where he was arrested. You can see his friends hang out in the bathroom before the 4th of July party on YouTube. If you search in Sakurasa stream, Sakura goes to Faye's 4th of July party. What house is it? This house right here is Flojo TV just sent this to me. He said this is the house where David was actually arrested. Okay, so remember David moved out of that house where he was living when it was first reported about Celeste. Now this is apparently where he was living when he was arrested just the other day. Very nice house. I love this, whatever this. Actually, it kind of looks kind of evil. It's giving Baphomet, actually. I don't really like that, but it could have been cool. West Side Property Management. Beautiful island. Oh my God, this is gorgeous. Look at that. Look at this kitchen. Look at this. There's a little oven in there. What's that? That's cute. I do like the finer things. I can appreciate it. Okay. I love some natural stone. I love it. Look how thick it is. What, 3 inches? Look at that island. Think of all the things you could store. I hate these lights. I don't like the lights. The house has good bones, but it's like, yeah, all of it just looks like a man decorated it. And, you know, no offense, but you know what I mean? Bachelor chic, somebody called it. This is gorgeous, though. This is beautiful. Here's that big old refrigerator. But again, this is where he was living after it all started to come out. Can't get by without a little mason floor somewhere, a little Freemason floor. Well, they got the Louis Vuitton fake faux marble here. This is beautiful. Actually, I have like floors like this in my bathroom, but they're like not real stone. They're like porcelain. That was like 99 cents for a tile, but there's on the floor. This is gorgeous. Actually, I think I might have something similar to this in my house too. Oops. Not like this though. It's just kind of similar. I don't remember actually. He likes a big he likes a big bedroom, don't he? What is this? Where's the door? So this is like supposed to be one of those barn doors, I guess, but it's not on there. What is this? A clothesline? Can somebody tell me what this thing is? Can't be a clothesline. The clothes would slip. What is that? Okay. A little bit of a downgrade on the bathroom, but not much. Beautiful. I love all this marble. I just really love this. I do. I'm a sucker for this stuff. Look at that door. I got a big window right here, but it's got the film over it so you can take your bath in private. This light's probably the best one I have seen. Look at the stars on the... Are they on the mirror? Look at this big tree branch. This is cute. Imagine you sitting right there and you're doing your makeup. Imagine I'm sitting right there doing a live stream. Big. Looks cold. This would be a good place to do your ballet bar. What in the hell is JFK doing up there? This is one of those Japanese toilets, I think, with the bidet and all built in. What is this? This is all I need right here. Just a little room, little window. What is this? Like a loft? That's cute. Little loft bedroom. Cute little loft. Another spiral staircase. This looks like another bathroom. Cute. I love wallpaper right now. I love it. But I can't have any because you want to know why? The going rate to install wallpaper is like $4.50 a square foot. It's crazy. Guess I ain't going to have wallpaper. I'll just have to use my imagination. Well, I like this as a little bedroom, but it's got a little skylight. Well, this isn't a skylight, but there's a skylight out there, it seems, coming from over there. And then so you have little windows in here. So even though it's kind of interior, you still get windows. That's cute. So this is the house David was living in. And I'm just wondering, like, why does David need to be living in a house this huge when he's like about to get arrested or maybe is going to get arrested? Not us just being girlies on Zillow. I know. I'm like, oh, I like that cabinet. I did, Doctor. A big place just for David. Right. That's what I was thinking too. Like, shouldn't he be trying to save money? Why is he living here? I'm confused. You can do wallpaper yourself. Yeah, I'm sure. That would be so nice. It would be full of bubbles and creases and wrinkles. I'm not a wallpaper installer, okay? I wish I could be. But I did put some of that contact paper on that shelf back there. If y'all remember, it used to be yellow. And then I put some, girl, had it going every other different type of way. It was a party house for 7 months and none of the neighbors even knew. Huh. Interesting. If it's quality peel and stick, you won't have an issue. Well, that's a lot. That's assuming a lot, girl. Doing wallpaper is hard. About to go in a meeting. Okay. He was living with friends at this house. Well, girl, who was he living with? He got a pool. He had a jacuzzi. They were wiretapping. This is a really cool room. I love this. Look at that sunroof. These look like pool sticks, but they're not. What is this? What is that? A table? What is this? I love these tiles. This is cool. I like that. I don't know what this room is. Just a sunroom? West Side Property Management. I don't know what these bamboo sticks are all about. 1615 Marmont Avenue. It's near the Hotel Marmont. Him and the manager were both living there? Yeah, I would have thought he would have downsized. The hearing happened, but all they did was reschedule. All they did was reschedule it. So they're going to be going back into court on May 1st. Almost looks like a mud room, but without the shower. FloJo's TV said he went to that house. He was there on Monday, and that's what one of the neighbors said across the street. Thought he came out to tell us to leave, but he was waiting for his DoorDash. Y'all should make this a regular segment. What, looking at houses? Let's get to 1,000 likes. Yes. Zillow girlies. I have a really strong feeling that manager is involved. Somebody said manager was his handler. Manager still seems sneaky to me. A lot of people talking about the manager in here. I want to see his connection to Jay-Z and Diddy. I bet somebody else was paying that rent in exchange for corn, people are saying. You'll never convince me the manager. Y'all are going in on the manager. FloJo TV, how close by are the neighbors? I'm wondering if somebody told him to get that big of a property as a means of later having investment money. Could be. 2 more David victims just spoke out. To who? Let me go see. I'm going to type in more David victims on Google. I don't see anything on like news. I see some Reddit stuff from like months ago. Like this, for example. This is just, not proven. This is just Reddit. David's second victim 7 months ago. Alleged 2023 chats. International Business Times is a known propaganda site. So take with a grain of salt. Minor go viral. The singer grooming a second underage girl all along. Minor girl claims she possessed multiple screenshots of interactions between her and David. Since the shocking revelation, this is from 7 months ago, online discourse has erupted. Amid the ongoing investigation, new claims have emerged in the case. Screenshots of alleged text messages and Reddit testimonials. Again, take with a grain of salt, y'all. That's not really, we don't know where those came from. These claims are unconfirmed, circulating on social media. Here's what we know so far. In the wake of the mainstream coverage of Celeste's death, a screenshot from Twitter user Anglisi began circulating saying new girl David had dated in 2023 while she was also underage, and saying she possessed multiple screenshots of interactions. The post reads, a new girl David had dated in 2023 while he was underage has got in touch with me, and she has multiple screenshots of everything. Some lines from their alleged conversation was David saying, I would love to be able to have a public relationship with someone, but the way this is going, we have to be a secret or something. Oh my. Okay. So this is apparently allegedly 7 months ago, a second victim. Again, y'all, please take this with a grain of salt. This could be completely made up, fabricated, and fake. People keep saying second victim. So I'm just kind of looking into this, but this is not like real news. Like, I don't know where this even came from. This could be anything. But apparently this is a message from David, allegedly from 2013. Now, interestingly, June 14th, 2023, 1 o'clock in the morning, June 14th, 2023. This is about 3 months before the alleged criminal activity started occurring with the relationship alleged between David and Celeste. That started on September 7th, 2023. This is months before. And this is apparently to another girl, not Celeste. Now, Celeste, at this moment, this text got sent, if it is a real text, was 12 years old. Hola. Okay, so I've been up all night thinking logically about you, work, life, relationships, and I realized something you would agree with if you see it the way I do. Straight from my heart, I really, really, really love you. But I've been checking my schedule for the rest of this year and next year, and I'm barely in Texas. Oh, this is a Texas relationship. I believe long distance relationships can work under the right conditions, like you being able to travel with me, etc., but you're still in school. With that also being said, I don't like hiding anything from anyone. I would love to have a public relationship with someone, but the way this is going, it's like we have to be a secret or something. I want you to be happy, but you still have so much left to do in these last 2 years of high school, and it may change your view on this entirely. And I would gladly wait for you if we are both in the right headspace when that time comes. I want to still be here for you, though, and talk like we did before it got complicated. LMAO. I love and care about you and need to make sure you're not alone. We are still interlinked. It does sound like something David would say. Please express yourself thoroughly, please, not OK or KK. I want to know everything going through your head. Bitch, you don't shut the fuck up. I get to know everything going through my 12-year-old head. Okay. A new girl David dated in 2023, underage, got in touch with me. Okay. So, I mean, is that real? Is that not real, girl? I couldn't possibly tell you. I don't know. Okay. Let's go back to the Dave Idiots Reddit and sort it by new. I don't like her. She's a plant and she works for Mark Garagos. So anybody that's working for Mark Garagos, I don't trust a damn word they say. Prosecutors want to start David's trial within 60 days of his preliminary hearing, May 1st, that if it's not delayed once again, so we could see a summer trial for David. Possible inspiration behind the split personality lore for Itami came from a manga described but not named in a previous interview from last year. MPD, multiple personality disorder. They don't call it that anymore, but I do know that's what that whatever it is, like initials stand for. MPD, multiple personality disorder, psycho. Shao Tajima Eiji Tsuka. Figurine seen in the MPD Psycho episode 1, Memories of Sin, Drifting Petals, right? He had called him Lost Petals, Withered Petals. Huh. Okay, let me go to the other Reddit, the D4VD 2. Maybe Celeste found all that other stuff while snooping through his phone and threatened what if Celeste thought she was the only one but then found stuff on his phone? Could be. I mean, I don't know, girl. I don't know. Yeah, that little brain thing had no arms. Davidiots like Dravidians. Something I found in the autopsy. The multiple fragments of blue plastic. This was the motive. I media trained you. That's controversial. It's controversial of kids. Beep, beep, beep. And then he's like, delete the whole thing. Delete the whole thing. Y'all know that video. The cut on his arm, coincidence? Okay. Listening to you and I again. We need more of this on Withered Deluxe. Okay, what is this? It said he had a cut on his arm. Let's see. I don't know when this is from. I think Celeste was still alive at this point, though. Oh, it's a song. Okay, copyright. I don't see a cut. Girl, I went too fast. Okay, let's try again. Oh, the hand. True. He does have a little hand cut right there. Okay, it's just too blurry to pause it. Can someone explain the large amount of data from a wiretap to me? What does that mean? Like someone was wired talking to him after she died, or like, was it already? Okay, now I feel like he really did this. I'm just going through these things. He really did this. He did it on purpose too, because he put it where the body was obvious. People are saying, I get strong feminine vibes from him. He's a vessel for ick. Could be. Shout out to lovely Nola1. It's a knife that he drew on his hand. Oh, okay. He had red tattoos on his palms, and then the finger had David in red. Like, maybe they got tatted together. Yeah, maybe so. Let me see. Let's see if there's any breaking news updates. The child you know what on the phone. It was updated just about 10 minutes ago. Let's see what the update was on the TMZ article. Let me turn it on the reader view. So we already read this article, but it has been updated. You know, sometimes they add more information. During the hearing, prosecutors claimed they went through his phone and found a significant amount of cheese pizza. Unclear if it has Celeste in it, involved in the investigation. Wiretap. They said the wiretap took place last year, but there were no other specifics. David was shackled. He said, yes, ma'am. The team led by Blair Burke. There were 3 separate investigative grand juries, and it sounds like those transcripts are going to become available at some point. Prosecutors said in court Thursday they'll be ready for next week's preliminary hearing, and they want to go to trial within 60 days. David claims they claim David was having relations with a 13-year-old Celeste. Oh my God! Shout out to Down the Rabbit Hole News. Shout out to you. Oh my God, girl. I don't know how you've been going live, like how much you've been going. I'm like, you're live before me and after me. I'm like, I don't even know where you get the energy. Shout out to you. And thank you for the $1.99 super chat. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Dissociative personality disorder. I just remembered what it's called. Right. I can't wait till we can FOIA all of this. No, I don't like to say this word either, Mimi, on my live, because that does get picked up and I'm not trying to be censored. So I don't say that word on this channel too much. Yeah, that the ring finger. He cut it off. Well, somebody cut it off. It was missing. We'll say that. The hand tattoo was a cover for the injury from the slippery pokey device. Could be. Could be. Let's see what else is going on here. Anything else? Let's see. Okay, I think somebody sent me an email, said, I think Neo knows. If you watch the video of David, he says the house stinks because he took a beep 2 hours ago. You listen to hear Neo when he goes to move the laptop at the very end. He's something like, oh, it's okay to keep the live on if he gets up. Like, is there weed or alcohol? And then they jokingly start rattling off an address. 420-6969. This is the video where Neo, I have to check that out. Let me see. I'm looking for... What else? Sakura. If you watch the whole thing, they talk about pills, who should have them before they all Uber to this other party. It's Asia and Sakura, Neo, and the other Celeste Herrera. David, Neo, they seem extra weird. They had a candle burning on the piano in the summer morning. There are a lot of details you can catch from it. Okay, where is it? Hour 43 minute mark? Hour 42 minute mark. Let's go to that. Okay, got the video up. Hour 42.
Hold up. Can I flip the screen here? Is there anything leaking? Okay.
Don't dox me though.
I'm doxing you. Where the address is 420 Street.
Whoa!
420 Street. Apartment number 6969.
Are you ready?
Are you looking at the address?
I mean.
Yeah, man. When we get in the car, just cover the camera until we park.
Yeah.
I ain't saying shit, gold digger.
I ain't saying shit. You good? Bro. Show him on the Google.
Yeah, of course.
You guys know me installing again?
Probably.
Be careful. David, you need to get bug spray. There's little spiders everywhere.
Oh, bro.
Yeah, just cover the camera.
No, that's not the
Okay, one sec, chat. We're just leaving. We're just gonna Cover the cam.
I didn't do that.
Really asking.
Our chat, we might lose service.
Like a couple times. I can't lie.
I'm gonna pray the stream is a trash.
Lamar.
Okay,
I went back a little.
This is a question to ask Jason once we get there.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. That's not the way.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what though.
Is that charged again? Wait, what are they charged for?
Charged for what?
It's not even charged for.
I'm just skipping around.
Thank you.
The girl says she needs bug spray. Well, they're going outside for a 4th of July party. I don't care how nice of a bathroom it is. I ain't eating in it.
Runs out the faces. I think it's a joke. ID, are you bringing ID?
Shannon's not bringing the jacket then?
Huh? We need ID?
Yeah, I think you should bring it.
United.
Pass me your arm.
Sorry. Asia got united throat, son.
What? You went standard throat?
It does look like, you know, he's like always kind of getting like weighted on, you know, and I remember this whole like Itami character was like a cult leader, supposed cult leader. So, girl, I don't know. They said David needs bug spray because of the little bugs. Why are they always in the bathroom with all the space in that mansion? Because they were getting dressed. Like, it was like, you know, it's got a lot of good lighting. There's like a big mirror. There's like the tables. There's the vanities. I would probably be getting dressed in there too. It has big mirrors. Okay. Well, I guess that's all we're really going to get into today. Thank you to everyone who came through. Thank you for all the super chats. And I'm going to be coming back through, you know, I'm sure very soon. But that is all we had for today. In the meantime, opinions ain't defamation. Definitely neither are facts. And everybody's innocent until proven guilty, including but not limited to David Anthony Burke. Make sure you drink your water. Love you, BNK. Bye.